you wouldn't let money just blow out of your house. So when your AC or heater is on, make sure the doors, windows, and fireplace flue are shut tight. If you're headed out, turn down the AC or lower the heat by 10 degrees. And always keep your water heater set at 120. A little bit of common sense goes a long way. Get more great tips at energysaver.gov.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello? That's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Neighbors, a little word about Free Speech TV. It's that time of year, our December pledge drive, very, very important before the end of the year. Your last chance to get a tax deduction for making a charitable contribution to our nonprofit Free Speech TV, and hope you take advantage of that. Come on, how much do you love us? Show me today. Let's make that $1,500 goal that we've got today. At least 15 of you with a pledge of $100 will put us over the top. And I got to tell you, we've been doing this now for a couple of years now. It's the same with every pledge drive. I always start out really nice, we love you, you love us, show us how much you love us, give us a contribution, help keep Free Speech TV on the air. And you know what? It never works. Same thing, we're off to a slow start again. It seems like the only way that we can get you guys to respond is to get a little testy here. I mean, come on, people, damn it. Show us how much you love us. Look, remember, Free Speech TV is built on this whole principle. It's something never seen before in the American media, okay? I mean, people who founded Free Speech TV figured, okay, if it's really true that you don't like the corporate media, and none of us do, all right, then we'll do something different, right? We won't take any government money, won't take any corporate money, won't take any Koch brothers money. And if you really like that, you will respond by digging in and keeping free speech on the air. So this is something, again, totally new, totally independent, and that's why we can be as progressive as we are 24/7, all of us on Free Speech TV. So you either like that plan, you like that principle, you like that approach, or you don't. And if you do, again, please show it by digging in and making as big a pledge as you can to keep free speech going, keep it on the air. It is so important. We depend entirely on you, and we'll help you with a little prompt maybe to make that pledge today. If you can help us with just $30 a year, we'll give you send you a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and pen set. For $60 a year, this is $5 a month. A Free Speech TV calendar, pictures of all your favorite hosts on it. $120 pledge, $10 a month. A Bill Press Show, 4 Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $240, something very special, a little bundle put together by the Women's Bean Project, including a contribution to the Bean Project, can of soup and a little bundle of cornbread, and 2 of those Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $360, a great, great gift for yourself or someone you love, a hand-woven scarf by my wife, Carol Press. And again, for $1,000, the big prize, you get yourself to Washington, you and a guest, Carol and I will take you out to dinner at our treat, and we'll bring you into studio to meet the whole team the next morning. Please help as much as you can. We really, really need it. And do it today. Take advantage of this end-of-the-year opportunity to get your taxes down a little bit by helping Free Speech TV. You know how to do it? Call 877-378-8669 or go to freespeech.org. Make your pledge today as generously as you can, and thank you.
A single ember that escapes from a wildfire can travel more than a mile. That single ember can ignite and destroy your home or even your community. You can't control where the ember will land, only what happens when it does. Get Fire Adapted now at fireadapted.org.
Columbine, Virginia Tech,
Tucson,
Aurora,
Fort Hood, Oak Creek,
Newtown.
Newtown,
Newtown.
Newtown.
How many more?
How many more? How many more colleges? How many more classrooms?
How many more movie theaters?
How many more houses of faith?
How many more shopping malls?
How many more street corners?
How many more?
How many more?
Enough.
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 Demand a plan.
Right now. As a mom.
As a dad, as a friend, as a husband,
As a wife.
As an American.
As an American.
As an American.
As a human being.
For the children of Sandy Hook.
Demand a plan. No more lists of names. It's not too soon.
It's too late.
Now is the time.
Before we all know someone who loved someone on that list.
No more lists.
No more.
Who they might have been. No more.
If we had just done something yesterday. It's time.
We can do better than this.
We can do better than this.
It's time.
It's time.
It's time for our leaders to act.
Demand a plan. Right now.
Right now.
You! Demand it!
Enough.
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 Casting around the nation, on your radio, on your TV, and online. This is The Bill Press Show.
America is being terrorized. 351 mass shootings so far this year in 334 days. Figure it out, more than one a day. Hello, everybody. On that grim note, we begin this Thursday, December 3rd. Good to see you today. Boy, we've got lots to talk about and hopefully can prompt some action on this issue of easy accessibility to guns. Finally, what is it going to take? We're here from our nation's capital, which is, of course, the do-nothing capital when it comes to gun safety. Hopefully, again, maybe we can change that. Here in Washington, D.C., in the shadow of the Capitol Dome, just down the street from the United States Capitol building, on our studio here, reaching out to you all over this great land of ours, coast to coast, on your local progressive talk radio station, and, of course, on Free Speech TV. We welcome you in Radio Land, welcome you in TV Land, welcome you to our daily discussion of the events and your daily opportunity to tell us what it all means to you and what you think we can do about it. Do you do so by giving us a call? The old-fashioned way, it still works, 866-55-PRESS. You can send us your comments on Twitter, @BP Show, the new way, if you will. That works too. Or on Facebook at facebook.com/Bill Press Show. Peter Ogburn, doing well, in touch with all of us, and a couple of days of rest, and he'll be back in action. But Jamie Benson just plowing through, with or without Peter, right? Hello, Jamie.
That's right. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Ray Rogers as well on the job, ready to take your calls. Let's keep her busy today at 866-55-PRESS. And look at that. Looking at you on Free Speech TV worldwide on our video stream, TawkrTV, youtube.com/TawkrTV. Thanks to the good work of videographer Cyprian Bolding. Yes, indeed, the news broke early yesterday afternoon, and once again, we were Americans in the grips of watching a mass shooting unfold, this time out in San Bernardino, California, an area I know very, very well. It's the so-called Inland Empire, about 30, 35 miles, maybe a little more, in east of Los Angeles. I used to do some consulting for the county of San Bernardino, and it was employees of the county of San Bernardino yesterday at their holiday luncheon who were the attacks of this, the victims and the targets of this apparently disgruntled county employee and his wife, who turned that holiday luncheon into a bloody massacre. We'll talk about that, what it means, and what we can do about it here through the morning. 866-55-PRESS. Get on the phones early because we're sure the phones are going to be busy. Susan Page, what am I saying? I'd love to have Susan Rice on the show one of these days, right? Susan Page, also a big get from USA Today, joins us a little bit later in this hour. We'll also be joined by a couple of our good friends and reporters, and by two Democratic members of Congress, Jan Schakowsky from Illinois and Mark Pocan from Madison, Wisconsin. And we'll get right to the San Bernardino scene. But first, as always,
the Full Court
Jamie?
Press. And just a couple of other stories for you on this Thursday morning. This is breaking overnight out of the sports world. You remember the double amputee Olympian Oscar Pistorius?
Oh yeah.
Right,
he got out of jail and
so he killed his girlfriend Reva Steenkamp in February of 2013. Allegedly.
He did.
Right, it was a very
he did kill her, but
unique circumstance.
The question was whether or not it was delivered or not. Yes, it was.
Right. So he shot her 4 times through a locked toilet door, saying he had been startled. Back about a year ago, he was sentenced to just a manslaughter verdict, or a manslaughter verdict had just come down, which much less serious than an actual murder verdict. This morning, we're learning that the court is changing it to a murder verdict. Here's why. South Africa Supreme Court of Appeal ruled that the lower court did not correctly apply the rule of dolus eventualis, which means Pistorius knew that a death would not be a likely result of his actions. So he will be resentenced here. The minimum sentence for murder is 15 years, but judges can apply some discretion. So the story is back. We'll have to continue to follow the story.
I hope he gets a full 15, if not more.
I agree. Another story out of the sports world. This one's kind of a funny one here. It's a good one because Navy football, for the first time in several decades, has a quarterback, or really a player, that could be up for a Heisman. Keenan Reynolds, their quarterback, is being considered as one of the top finalists for the Heisman Trophy, which will be revealed later this month. ESPN has a poll up on their website to vote which fans think who should get the Heisman. Keenan Reynolds' name disappeared mysteriously from the poll a couple of days ago. You know why? Because he was doing so well. The results were so heavily in his favor.
Right? That
ESPN wanted a closer contest, so they took him out.
Oh.
He's still off the poll, but you can manually select him if you'd like. I think Keenan Reynolds probably going to win the Heisman.
Sounds like they're changing the rules in the middle of the game, but at any rate.
Good for Navy, though. And finally, a story out of Brazil. There is a new billboard campaign to shame folks who make racist Facebook comments. So this group out of Brazola Crioula, it's a nonprofit that works to defend the rights of black women in Brazil, have been taking location tags from Facebook posts to figure out where offending racists live, and they take the statement that these racists had put on their Facebooks and put them up on billboards.
Oh, near their homes?
Yeah.
Whoa.
So they blur out the names and all that, but if you were the person that posted that, you drive by and you see, they caught me. So a nice thing they're doing here is it's sort of trying to stop internet bullying here. I hope this works. Maybe this could be something that we see in the U.S. at some point down the line.
Yeah, a lot of money to do that, but it might be effective. Thank you, Jamie. Yes, here we go again. I got to tell you, one of my first thoughts when I heard this breaking news out of San Bernardino yesterday, remember just before Thanksgiving, we were talking about, Carol and I have this trip planned to Madrid, and so many of our friends and family were saying, oh, you can't go to Europe. Europe is too dangerous. Europe is too dangerous. Let me tell you something. You know, I think we ought to be talking about how dangerous the United States is. I don't think there is any place in the United States that is safe today from domestic terrorism. Don't we see that, and haven't we learned that? I mean, there are going to be people pretty soon around the world who say, oh, United States? I'll never go there. I get shot up at a restaurant or at a church. or at a community college, or in a first grade classroom, or in a movie theater, or at an office holiday party, for God's sakes, which is exactly what happened yesterday, of course, in San Bernardino County. Still a lot of questions, still sorting through the facts, don't know all the details, and we accept that right up front. But having watched the coverage nonstop yesterday, which I'm sure many of you did, we do know that there was a disgruntled county employee who showed up at this office party, had some kind of dispute with somebody there, ran out, came back with his wife, dressed in all black with masks, with assault rifles, opened fire on that office party. It ended up killing 14 people, wounding 17, taking off in a black SUV, which was later apprehended, and the two of them were shot dead. Here is the chief, Jared Baraugan, who gives us the count of the suspects when they were finally tracked down in this SUV.
We have 2 suspects that are dead at the scene. One is a male, one is a female.
And the chief goes on to say, here's how they were attired. Here's the kind of guns they had.
They were dressed in kind of assault-style clothing, I think is probably the best way to term it. They are both armed with assault rifles. They are both armed with handguns.
Now, then there's this discussion, and the chief, and nor with the FBI person, the head of the Western Regional Office out of Los Angeles, classify this as an act of terrorism, meaning they weren't sure it is radical jihadist terrorism. They happened to be, the man happened to be, and his wife were both Muslims. But it certainly, it was an act of terrorism. It was an act of domestic terrorism, it looks like. But clearly, opening fire indiscriminately on people, innocent victims, an act of terrorism. Let's just call it what it is. And it's just the latest. How many days after Colorado Springs? We've hardly recovered from Colorado Springs, and yet here is another one. As I mentioned earlier, in fact, Dan Gross, who is the head of the Brady campaign, was on CNN last night with Don Lemon, who gives us the numbers on mass shootings in this country.
Over 93% of Americans support expanding Brady background checks to all gun sales. It's really just a small group of craven politicians that do the bidding of the gun lobby that prevent it.
Yeah. I'm sorry, the other one here. Let's listen. Yeah.
Our nation is being terrorized, whether it's these mass shootings that seem to be happening on a regular basis or the 89 gun deaths that happen every single day in our country. And the president is right. There are things that we can do about it, things that the overwhelming majority of the American public supports. The American public has had enough of the mass shootings, of the 89 gun deaths every day.
Enough. And Don Lemon pointed out, as I mentioned at the very top of the hour, 34 days so far gone by in the year 2015 with 351 mass shootings. Mass shootings defined as more than 4 or more victims of gunfire. That's more than one a day. How can we live with that? And we know, and we've seen them over the last couple of years. The places, Colorado Springs, Charleston, South Carolina, Roseburg, Oregon, Newtown, Connecticut, right? Aurora, Colorado. I mentioned Colorado Springs. Here in Washington, D.C., down at the Navy Yard, the campus of Virginia Tech. It goes on and on and on, the sites of these mass shootings, 89 violent gun deaths a day. And the president happened to be giving an interview yesterday with Norah O'Donnell. And the first thing he said was, look, we just cannot tolerate this any longer. There are things we can do. Let's hear that Dan Gross bite again about for example, universal background checks.
Over 93% of Americans support expanding Brady background checks to all gun sales. It's really just a small group of craven politicians that do the bidding of the gun lobby that prevent it.
And here is what we heard instead, okay? So there are clearly things we can do. Banning the sale of assault weapons, which these people had, by the way. bad assault weapons. We heard the chief say that, and handguns. Banning the sale of assault weapons, universal background checks, at least those couple of things we can do, right? And instead, here's the kind of lip service we get. Here's Paul Ryan last night, Speaker Paul Ryan, just before he's lighting the Capitol Christmas tree.
Please keep the victims and their families in your prayers right now.
So here's what we're going to hear. And then he asks for a moment of silence. And here's what we're going to get. And it is so freaking predictable. And I know it's not politically correct for me to say this, but here's what we're going to get, okay? We're going to get calls for we keep the victims in our thoughts and prayers. We want a moment of silence. We have to do something about mental health. This is a chance to praise our law enforcement officers for the great job that they do. You know what? BS. I am sick and tired of hearing that kind of rhetoric. We don't need any prayers. We don't need any moment of silence. What we need is action. I don't know about you. I am damn sick and tired of that response. And that's what we're going to hear, and that's what we already have started hearing over and over and over again. I say to the politicians, no, enough is enough. Republicans, for the most part, but also some Democrats who are afraid of the NRA. It is time to stand up to the NRA and to stand up for the American people and to protect the people of this country from this senseless, easy access to guns, anytime, anybody who wants to buy one. As Dan Gross pointed out there on CNN last night, the president pointed out, I mean, anybody who's guilty of some domestic abuse, buy a gun. Unless you've been committed to a mental asylum, hey, walk in legally, walk out with a gun. You can be on the no-fly list of the United States. You can't get on a plane because you're a suspected terrorist, and you can, under today's law, you can walk into a gun store and walk out with a gun. And, of course, you can go to any online or any gun fair, right, these gun shows, and buy any gun with no background check at all. It is absolutely insane. Now we've got yet one more mass shooting. What can we do about it? Is this the time to get some action? No more prayers, no more moment of silence. We want action. 866-55-PRESS. Get on board here, and let's talk about what we can do and what we should do.
Follow us on Twitter @BP Show. This is The Bill Press Show.
Hey, here we go, friends and neighbors. A little time out here to talk about this Free Speech TV pledge drive. It's our December pledge drive. Your last chance to help free speech and to take advantage of the tax deduction before the end of the year. Heading into the weekend, we encourage you to not to wait any longer, to take advantage of this opportunity to show your support for free speech right now. As I mentioned the other day, no more Mr. Nice Guy just telling you how much we love you and how much we know you love us, and therefore you're going to help us. No. I told you I was going to get a little tougher. In fact, it came out and said, come on, make your pledge, damn it. And guess what? It worked. We had the biggest day we had so far just because I used the damn it phrase. So let's try it again, all right? Let's be a little tougher. Stop farting around. Yeah, come on, get off your ass and make your pledge, damn it, and do it today. We need your help. Seriously, look, we wouldn't even be doing this pledge drive. We wouldn't even be asking for your help if it weren't important. You know about Free Speech TV. It is such a rare national treasure, and I'm so proud to be part of it. It is the only independent, the only progressive, the only totally freewheeling, the only non-corporate media out there on television that you can enjoy 24/7 with such great hosts and great information and great opportunity to get your voices out there. And if that's what you want and that's what you appreciate, then please show your appreciation by helping us as much as you can. Any pledge is valuable. Any pledge we appreciate. Any pledge keeps us going. We just ask you to be as generous as you can. And you do your share. We'll do our share by sending you some wonderful little gifts to accompany your pledge. If you can just help us with $30, a pledge for $30, we'll send you a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and pen set. For $60, that's $5 a month. Come on, a Free Speech TV calendar with photograph for every month of one of your favorite Free Speech TV hosts, including yours truly. $120, $10 a month, 4 Bill Press Show pint glasses you can sip while you watch. For $240, a little package put together for the Women's Bean Project, a contribution to that great project, a little can of soup and a bundle of cornbread, and 2 of those Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $360, a Carol Press scarf like this one that's just $30 a month. Some of you have already done this. I've heard from some of you, and so excited to get a Carol Press scarf for that $360 pledge. For $1,000, you get yourself to Washington early in 2016. Carol and I will take you out to dinner and come on in the next morning and meet our whole team here. Make your pledge today, again, as generously as you can to 877-378-8669, or go online to freespeech.org. Again, thank you for your help. Happy holidays.
I grew up in the housing projects of Cleveland. I didn't even know that life could be any better than it was. Education for me has been a way to get away from the agony of what was normal life. I want to be able to impact the community, not just look back on where I came from, but to reach back to where I came from and pull some people up with me. My name is David, and I am your dividend.
Seen on Free Speech TV and online on TawkrTV. This is the Bill Press Show.
Another call for action on gun safety measures in the wake of the San Bernardino massacre yesterday. Comments on Twitter, Jamie?
All right, couple comments rolling in already this morning. Randy Hicks says we need to pay off NRA their profits and then destroy their weapons and bullets or support hashtag move to amend all parties. KG1 says we should close the loopholes for gun shows and online sales also. And then finally, Paula shares a tweet from Senator Chris Murphy from Connecticut yesterday. Chris Murphy saying your, quote, thoughts should be about steps to stop this carnage. Your, quote, prayers should be for forgiveness if you do nothing again.
Good for him. He's got it absolutely right. Incidentally, our good friend Igor Volsky was all over this yesterday. Good for Igor. He picked up the tweets that came out of Republicans in the Congress and then exposed them for all the money they take from the NRA. He did it over and over and over again, just showing the hypocrites that these people are. Igor was on with Chris Hayes last night on CNN. Maybe we'll play you a couple of clips from that a little bit later. But just for example, Mitch McConnell, Mr. Cole, right, he put out this tweet. The senseless loss of innocent life in San Bernardino defies explanation. Our thoughts are with the victims and their families. BS. Igor tweets out, NRA dumped $922,000 into McConnell's re-elect bid. So when it comes to preventing gun violence, all you get is this tweet. Go, Igor. Absolutely. That exposes these people, again, for the hypocrites that they are. They are bought and sold by the NRA, and the NRA is nothing but, remember this, friends, okay, it's no longer a voice for hunters and sportsmen of this country, for your dad or my dad or your brothers or sisters or yourselves or those of you who actually do enjoy hunting. No. The NRA is nothing but a front and a big lobby for the gun manufacturers. And these politicians are owned by them. They are not working for the American people. 93% of the American people support universal background checks. Let's get Congress to act. All right, we'll get to your calls next. 866-55-PRESS.
This is the Bill Press Show.
Hey, here we go, friends and neighbors. A little time out here to talk about this Free Speech TV pledge drive. It's our December pledge drive. Your last chance to help free speech and to take advantage of the tax deduction before the end of the year. Heading into the weekend, we encourage you to not to wait any longer, to take advantage of this opportunity to show your support for free speech right now. As I mentioned the other day, no more Mr. Nice Guy just telling you how much we love you and how much we know you love us, and therefore you're going to help us. No. I told you I was going to get a little tougher. In fact, they came out and said, come on, make your pledge, damn it. And guess what? It worked. We had the biggest day we had so far just because I used the damn it phrase. So let's try it again, all right? Let's be a little tougher. Stop farting around. Yeah, come on, get off your ass and make your pledge, damn it, and do it today. We need your help. Seriously, look, we wouldn't even be doing this pledge drive. We wouldn't even be asking for your help if it weren't important. You know about Free Speech TV. It is such a rare national treasure, and I'm so proud to be part of it. It is the only independent, the only progressive, the only totally freewheeling, the only non-corporate media out there on television that you can enjoy 24/7 with such great hosts and great information and great opportunity to get your voices out there. And if that's what you want and that's what you appreciate, then please show your appreciation by helping us as much as you can. Any pledge is valuable. Any pledge we appreciate. Any pledge keeps us going. We just ask you to be as generous as you can. And you do your share. We'll do our share by sending you some wonderful little gifts to accompany your pledge. If you can just help us with $30, a pledge for $30, we'll send you a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and pen set. For $60, that's $5 a month. Come on, a Free Speech TV calendar with a photograph for every month of one of your favorite Free Speech TV hosts, including yours truly. $120, $10 a month for Bill Press Show pint glasses. You can sip while you watch. For $240, a little package put together for the Women's Bean Project, a contribution to that great project, a little can of soup and a bundle of cornbread, and 2 of those Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $360, a Carol Press scarf like this one that's just $30 a month. Some of you have already done this. I've heard from some of you, and so excited to get a Carol Press scarf for that $360 pledge. For $1,000, you get yourself to Washington early in 2016. Carol and I will take you out to dinner and go on in the next morning and meet our whole team here. Make your pledge today, again, as generously as you can to 877-378-8669, or go online to freespeech.org. Again, thank you for your help. Happy holidays.
At Earth Justice, we defend the environment in the courtroom. Join our fight. When you take a seat, you take a stand. Earth Justice, because the Earth needs a good lawyer.
The most valuable morning radio show, according to The Nation magazine. This is The Bill Press Show.
Here we go now, 33 minutes after the hour, the morning after this massacre in San Bernardino County at the Inland Regional Center, which is a state office building, a little complex, and it's got a conference center in the middle of it. The conference center they rent out, and it was a conference center had been rented yesterday by the San Bernardino Department of Public Health holding their holiday luncheon when one of their employees had been there with their county for 5 years, came in, got in a fight with somebody. We're not sure what that dispute was about. He was asked to leave, thrown out, and he left, stormed back in, maybe a half an hour later, with his wife, both dressed in black assault, they call it assault clothing, attack clothing with masks and long guns and handguns, and open fire on his fellow employees. Pardon me, it was mentioned, what a contrast between the mealy mouth. We have their thoughts and prayers with the victims, but boy, we won't do anything about the NRA. What a contrast with Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders yesterday. Here's Hillary Clinton.
It also means standing up to the gun lobby. The gun lobby!
Yep, she's making that a big part of her campaign. Bernie Sanders echoing in as well last night with Chris Hayes on CNN.
I do believe, Chris, that there are a number of areas expanding and improving instant background check, doing away with the gun show loophole. I would hope banning assault weapons, doing away with the straw man provision. Those are areas, in fact, despite the NRA, that the vast majority of the American people would like us to move. Whether my Republican colleagues here have the courage to do that remains to be seen.
Yeah, they don't have the courage to do that. In fact, all they're doing is putting out their meaningless tweets. Hey, Jamie, get that first clip from Igor there. But we mentioned that Igor Volsky, our good friend from Think Progress, who will be guest hosting here tomorrow, picked up the comments of many Republican members of Congress and put them out there. Here's one from Steve Womack. Congressman Steve Womack just says, tweeted out, praying for San Bernardino. Igor Volsky points out, got $4,000 from the NRA during the 24 election cycle to address gun violence by praying. Igor talked about that with Chris Hayes.
It's so predictable. The responses are so predictable. I mean, they've been thinking and praying about this since Newtown. We're almost, as you point out, at the anniversary, December 14th. We had such an opportunity then as a country to pass some actual gun reforms. We didn't. Here we are almost a year after having the same conversation, and these lawmakers are having the same exact reaction they had then and to all of the shootings we've seen since then.
Yeah, our thoughts and prayers, that's all they do. So meaningless, so phony, so artificial, so cruel. Rose out in Ligonier, Indiana. Hello, Rose.
Hi, morning, guys. I live in the middle of Amish country. I do not know why anybody would want an AK to go deer hunting. If you spray that animal full, you're not going to want to eat the summer sausage. You're not going to want to eat the meat. If you do, your dental bill is going to go through the roof. So there goes the valid point for even having an AK. For home defense, if you can't hit 911 and have your rifle or your deer and expect the police to show up within a reasonable time, then we don't need them. Years ago, there was a shooting in northeastern Pennsylvania where they hit an Amish school, a guy in the community. So you can't say anywhere you're safe, because if people snap...
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
And people are going to snap, Rose, and the problem is, that we make it so easy for anybody to get a gun, right? And all those places that we've talked about, the Amish country, Colorado Springs, you name it, Roseburg, right? I mean, they're all different in some ways, different victims, different motives and all that stuff, but they were all people blown away with guns that there's too much easy access to. Every one of them. All right, Rose, so good to hear from you. And yeah, you're right. There's just no sense. There's no reason at all on God's earth that anybody needs a battlefield assault weapon like an AK-15. Like it looks like what these people had yesterday. David, out in Michigan. Hello, David.
Hey, how you doing, Bill?
All right. What do you think?
Oh, I'm just, I look at the cigarette laws that they've come out with, and, how many people have been killed by secondhand gun smoke, It's just getting crazy, You can't go near a school with a cigarette. You can't go near any public building. You got to stay 50 feet away. And in Michigan, you can't even smoke a cigarette in your car if you got a kid under 18 in the car.
It is interesting, David. You make an interesting point, because the tobacco lobby used to be that powerful, right, that you could not touch cigarettes. But boy, they have cracked down, I think rightfully so, but cracked down on cigarette smoking. But guns who kill many, many more people every day, right? They just are afraid of the gun lobby and afraid to crack down on the gun lobby. Why? Why? I mean, again, some of these members of Congress, the Igor pointed out yesterday, they got $1,000, $3,000, $2,000, $4,000 from the NRA. I mean, I got to tell you, that's chump change. They would sell their soul for $2,000. They would leave the American people vulnerable to domestic terrorism and the fact that you can't go in really today, a shopping mall or a movie theater or a community college or a first grade classroom or a restaurant or God knows what, a McDonald's, without fear of somebody walking in and starting indiscriminately to blow people away. They'd sell this for $2,000 or for $1,000. These guys are such cowards. Again, Republicans and Democrats, I don't care who. And we talked a little bit yesterday about whether or not, what a difference 24 hours makes, whether climate change might emerge as the pivotal issue in 2016. Well, you know what? This should be, in addition to climate change, this should be a pivotal issue for 2016. And it's like climate change, it's easy to answer. On climate change, do you believe in it? Do you think we ought to take action on it? Yes or no? On this, are you ready to support universal background checks and a ban on assault weapons? Yes or no? Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders are both yes. And not one of the Republican candidates is a yes. They are all no. That's all you need to know, as far as I'm concerned, to decide how to vote in 2016. This should be one of the top issues. And let's take on the NRA. Make that an issue in 2016. Gina, calling from down in New Orleans. Hi, Gina.
Good morning, Bill. How are you?
All right. Worked up on this.
Yes. You hear all this, and I think it's mostly from the right-wing wackos about wanting to abolish the Environment Protection Agency.
Oh, yeah.
And wanting to abolish the National Education Association. Let's abolish the National Rifle Association.
Yeah, and you know what? I wish that people who joined the NRA thinking that this was going to represent them because they like their dad taught them to do, go out rabbit hunting, go duck hunting, go deer hunting, whatever. There's a lot of it in this area, particularly over on the Eastern Shore. I grew up hunting ducks going duck hunting with my dad and with my Uncle G.I. It was a sport, a family sport. Everybody in our little hometown up in Delaware did that, and there are people today still who do that, and I don't any longer. But I understand that, I respect that, I appreciate that, even if I don't enjoy it. But come on, the NRA doesn't represent you, doesn't represent sportsmen or hunters. Again, it's just totally all about the gun lobby. We've got a lot more to talk about this with guests coming up here, but particularly with Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky and Congressman Mark Pocan. And let me mention, in the meantime, that it's a crappy, kind of cold, rainy day in Washington, D.C. It's a kind of a day where you need a scarf to keep warm. Those of you watching can see I'm wearing a Carol Press scarf at this moment. If you're looking for a great gift for this holiday season, you can't do better than a hand-woven scarf. Rayon Chenille by Carol Press. Go to our website, BillPressShow.com. Follow the link to the Carol Press scarves. You'll see all kinds of beautiful colors and designs for this season, either in rayon chenille or in bamboo. And you can't do better for yourself or for someone you love. When we come back, speaking of someone we love, Susan Page standing by from USA Today. We'll get her take on the news of the day. Hey, here we go, friends and neighbors. A little time out here to talk about this Free Speech TV pledge drive. It's our December pledge drive. Your last chance to help free speech and to take advantage of the tax deduction before the end of the year. Heading into the weekend, we encourage you to not to wait any longer, to take advantage of this opportunity to show your support for free speech right now. As I mentioned the other day, no more Mr. Nice Guy just telling you how much we love you and how much we know you love us, and therefore you're going to help us. No. I told you I was going to get a little tougher. In fact, it came out and said, come on, make your pledge, damn it. And guess what? It worked. We had the biggest day we had so far just because I used the damn it phrase. So let's try it again, all right? Let's be a little tougher. Stop farting around. Yeah, come on. Get off your ass and make your pledge. Damn it. And do it today. We need your help. Seriously. Look, we wouldn't even be doing this pledge drive. We wouldn't even be asking for your help if it weren't important. You know about Free Speech TV. It is such a rare national treasure, and I'm so proud to be part of it. It is the only independent, the only progressive, the only totally freewheeling, the only non-corporate media out there on television that you can enjoy 24/7 with such great hosts and great information and great opportunity to get your voices out there. And if that's what you want and that's what you appreciate, then please show your appreciation by helping us as much as you can. Any pledge is valuable. Any pledge we appreciate. Any pledge keeps us going. We just ask you to be as generous as you can. And you do your share. We'll do our share by sending you some wonderful little gifts to accompany your pledge. If you can just help us with $30. A pledge for $30, we'll send you a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and pen set. For $60, that's $5 a month. Come on, a Free Speech TV calendar with a photograph for every month of one of your favorite Free Speech TV hosts, including yours truly. $120, $10 a month for Bill Press Show pint glasses. You can sip while you watch. For $240, a little package put together for the Women's Bean Project, a contribution to that great project, a little can of soup and a bundle of cornbread, and 2 of those Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $360, a Carol Press scarf like this one that's just $30 a month. Some of you have already done this. I've heard from some of you, and so excited to get a Carol Press scarf for that $360 pledge. For $1,000, you get yourself to Washington early in 2016. Carol and I will take you out to dinner and come on in the next morning and meet our whole team here. Make your pledge today, again, as generously as you can to 877-378-8669 or go online to freespeech.org. Again, thank you for your help. Happy holidays.
Help keep all the presidential candidates straight with your progressive headquarters for the 2016 election. This is The Bill Press Show.
Well, we try to help you keep them straight, and if we don't have time to get everything out there, you got another good source, and that is Susan Page and USA Today, and Susan's program on WUSA 9 Capital Download at 8:30 a.m. Sunday mornings. And she's up early again this morning. Hello, Susan.
Hey, Bill.
Well, San Bernardino, here we go again, right?
There are really no words for
I know.
how to respond to these shootings.
And they keep happening. I mean, CNN, I heard last night, I haven't had a chance to double-check the figure, 351 so far this year, where we've only gone 334 days.
More than one a day. Mass shootings defined as 4 people or more killed. Which means that some of these aren't getting much coverage because we haven't read about more than one a day. And this latest one just seems so brutal and inexplicable.
And, you wonder, I appreciate you hear our thoughts and prayers with the victims, right? And we need a moment of silence and everything. But it's a poor substitute for action, I've got to say, Susan.
And you wonder if there's a point when the political system responds, which, we've become... it's the Sandy Hook. What was that? 3 years ago, there was some thought maybe that's enough to. We thought that was
going to be it.
It wasn't. It turned out there was some talk. There wasn't any action. Since then, I think there's just been a sense this is an impossible problem for the political system to tackle. But surely at some point the political system starts to respond.
It has to. It just seems to me it has to. One of our callers earlier made a point about the tobacco lobby. Right? It was considered impregnable at a time. Right? You could not. No, you could never clamp down on cigarettes because the tobacco lobby was so powerful. Well, look at it today.
Yeah.
You almost have to have a federal permit to smoke a cigarette, right?
Yeah.
And the gun lobby is not that powerful. They don't give away that much money.
Well, that's true, although there's no constitutional amendment protecting your right to smoke. There is the Second Amendment
that issue,
and so I think that is part of this debate. What exactly does the Second Amendment mean? Are there steps that could be taken consistent with the Second Amendment that would reduce the number of these shootings? As President Obama said yesterday, you're not going to eliminate all of them, but surely we can take steps that reduce the peril that people are now have when they go to a center that treats disabled children. Who would have ever thought that would be a target?
Look at or community college or a first grade classroom.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see today, Susan, what the response from the White House is. I mean, the president's comments yesterday were right on point, I thought. But remember, after Sandy Hook, there was a national task force led by Joe Biden. Right? They had meetings. They pushed legislation. There hasn't been any effort toward action since. I get the feeling they've almost given up.
Well, I think the White House has decided that this is not doable. There are only a few things he can do before the end of his term. This isn't going to be one of them. But the political system will be moving on after President Obama's tenure ends. And I do think that after each one of these shootings, each one of these big shootings, there's a little more of an infrastructure built that is concerned with this issue. Like you see the Gabby Giffords group being active. You see the Sandy Hook parents continuing to speak out. So there is, I think, eventually a cumulative effect that changes the politics of the situation. Just the question is, when does that happen, and what does that mean? What is it that we could do that would be effective?
And I've been wondering, too, this morning, whether or not this will become a pivotal issue in 2016. Yesterday, both Bernie Sanders, who's been in his past, right, has not been as strong on gun safety measures or gun control as I might want, but both Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton came out for universal background checks, for banning assault weapons. There's a clear difference between the two parties on this one.
Oh, no, there's no question about that. And when I'm interviewing Senator Rand Paul this afternoon for Capital Download, he's been an adamant defender of the Second Amendment, kind of consistent with his libertarian principles. I'm going to ask him if that's been shaken at all. Are there any second thoughts? Is there anything that he would support that would try to reduce some of these incidents of workplace violence and of terrorism, whatever this turns out to be? I think we don't know yet what was behind this latest shooting.
Exactly. Yeah. No. I really look forward to reading your that interview or watching it this Sunday. And the other thing is, I know you'll talk to him about. I mean, the latest numbers that we see nationwide, Donald Trump's still leading, Ben Carson fading, Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz rising, but Rand Paul not going anywhere. Do you think he still sees that he has a shot?
I think he is beginning to make, and I want to ask him about this, I think he's beginning to make moves to focus on his reelection to the Senate. He spent time last week in Kentucky. He had an op-ed in the Louisville Courier-Journal yesterday saying Kentucky is my first priority, and defending his voting record, among other things, for showing up vote even while he's running for president. So, he's in better shape than the people who are truly at the bottom, the people who are 1% and 0%. But he's at about 3% nationally. He's about 4% in Iowa and New Hampshire. He has to do better than that to stay in this race over the long haul. Now, maybe he stays in through Iowa and New Hampshire, which gets closer and closer each day.
Right. And he didn't he? They changed the law, right, in Kentucky, so that he can run for both.
They didn't change the law, which prevented you. But what they did was the Republicans agreed not to hold a primary, but to hold a convention, which allows him to run for both at the moment.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So the other big question, of course, is, do you think Donald Trump will show up for the next CNN debate?
And will CNN pay $5 million to a charity of his choice?
$5 million.
It's like Donald Trump is so much. Whatever you think about his policies or his possibility of being president, never fails to entertain.
Exactly. And I was talking to a host of another national television show the other night, who said, who shall go unnamed, I don't want to embarrass him, who said he actually enjoyed this because it sort of put Jeff Zucker on the spot, right? And highlighted the fact that CNN is making so much money out of these debates that they should be giving some of it away.
Man, maybe that's a fair point.
Yeah, right. I know. So, Donald Trump's going to show up. He made this same hollow threat before, right?
But he's won concessions the last time. Remember, he won concessions in terms of like opening and closing statements and how long they had to respond. Because what would a Republican debate be without Donald Trump? Who in the world would tune in?
Who would watch? Exactly. All right. Hey, Susan, got a good interview today with Rand Paul, and we'll see you Sunday morning. And thanks so much for joining us again.
Hey, thank you, Bill.
Have a great weekend. Susan Page, the one and only Susan Page, USA Today, Washington Bureau Chief, usatoday.com. Hey, here we go, friends and neighbors. A little time out here to talk about this Free Speech TV pledge drive. It's our December pledge drive. Your last chance to help free speech and to take advantage of the tax deduction before the end of the year. Heading into the weekend, we encourage you to not to wait any longer, to take advantage of this opportunity to show your support for free speech right now. As I mentioned the other day, no more Mr. Nice Guy just telling you how much we love you and how much we know you love us, and therefore you're going to help us. No. I told you I was going to get a little tougher. In fact, it came out and said, come on, make your pledge, damn it. And guess what? It worked. We had the biggest day we had so far just because I used the damn it phrase. So let's try it again, all right? Let's be a little tougher. Stop farting around. Yeah, come on, get off your ass and make your pledge, damn it, and do it today. We need your help. Seriously, look, we wouldn't even be doing this pledge drive. We wouldn't even be asking for your help if it weren't important. You know about Free Speech TV. It is such a rare national treasure, and I'm so proud to be part of it. It is the only independent, the only progressive, the only totally freewheeling, the only non-corporate media out there on television that you can enjoy 24/7 with such great hosts and great information and great opportunity to get your voices out there. And if that's what you want and that's what you appreciate, then please show your appreciation by helping us as much as you can. Any pledge is valuable. Any pledge we appreciate. Any pledge keeps us going. We just ask you to be as generous as you can. And you do your share. We'll do our share by sending you some wonderful little gifts to accompany your pledge. If you can just help us with $30, a pledge for $30, we'll send you a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and pen set. For $60, that's $5 a month. Come on, a Free Speech TV calendar with a photograph for every month of one of your favorite Free Speech TV hosts, including yours truly. $120, $10 a month for Bill Press Show pint glasses. You can sip while you watch. For $240, a little package put together for the Women's Bean Project, a contribution to that great project, like a little can of soup and a bundle of cornbread, and 2 of those Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $360, a Carol Press scarf like this one that's just $30 a month. Some of you have already done this. I've heard from some of you, and so excited to get a Carol Press scarf for that $360 pledge. For $1,000, you get yourself to Washington early in 2016. Carol and I will take you out to dinner and come on in the next morning and meet our whole team here. Make your pledge today, again, as generously as you can to 877-378-8669 or go online to freespeech.org. Again, thank you for your help. Happy holidays.
This is the Bill Press Show.
3 minutes before the top of the hour. It'll be an interesting White House briefing today to see the White House response and President's response. He may even come to the briefing room this afternoon to talk about what happened in San Bernardino yesterday, what we can do about it. Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky joins us at the top of the next hour. From Chicago, Congressman Mark Pocan from Madison, Wisconsin will be joining us in our third hour together this morning. We'll also talk next hour with Roma Lois, a vice president of the Teamsters Union, about a new organizing drive they have in California. And Tierney Sneed, political reporter for Talking Points Memo, will be along as well, and we'll continue to bring you the latest and get your comments on the massacre yesterday in San Bernardino, California. The Bill Press Show on this Thursday.
This is the Bill Press Show.
Hey, here we go, friends and neighbors. A little time out here to talk about this Free Speech TV pledge drive. It's our December pledge drive. Your last chance to help free speech and to take advantage of the tax deduction before the end of the year. Heading into the weekend, we encourage you to not to wait any longer, to take advantage of this opportunity to show your support for free speech right now. As I mentioned the other day, no more Mr. Nice Guy just telling you how much we love you and how much we know you love us, and therefore you're going to help us. No. I told you I was going to get a little tougher. In fact, they came out and said, come on, make your pledge, damn it. And guess what? It worked. We had the biggest day we had so far just because I used the damn it phrase. So let's try it again, all right? Let's be a little tougher. Stop farting around. Yeah, come on, get off your ass and make your pledge, damn it, and do it today. We need your help. Seriously, look, we wouldn't even be doing this pledge drive. We wouldn't even be asking for your help if it weren't important. You know about Free Speech TV. It is such a rare national treasure, and I'm so proud to be part of it. It is the only independent, the only progressive, the only totally freewheeling, the only non-corporate media out there on television that you can enjoy 24/7 with such great hosts and great information and great opportunity to get your voices out there. And if that's what you want and that's what you appreciate, then please show your appreciation by helping us as much as you can. Any pledge is valuable. Any pledge we appreciate. Any pledge helps keeps us going. We just ask you to be as generous as you can. And you do your share. We'll do our share by sending you some wonderful little gifts to accompany your pledge. If you can just help us with $30, a pledge for $30, we'll send you a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and pen set. For $60, that's $5 a month. Come on, a Free Speech TV calendar with a photograph for every month of one of your favorite Free Speech TV hosts, including yours truly. $120, $10 a month for Bill Press Show pint glasses. You can sip while you watch. For $240, a little package put together for the Women's Bean Project, a contribution to that great project, a little can of soup and a bundle of cornbread, and 2 of those Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $360, a Carol Press scarf like this one that's just $30 a month. Some of you have already done this. I've heard from some of you, and so excited to get a Carol Press scarf for that $360 pledge. For $1,000, you get yourself to Washington early in 2016. Carol and I will take you out to dinner and come on in the next morning and meet our whole team here. Make your pledge today, again, as generously as you can to 877-378-8669, or go online to freespeech.org. Again, thank you for your help. Happy holidays.
At Earth Justice, we defend the environment in the courtroom. Join our fight. When you take a seat, you take a stand. Earth Justice, because the Earth needs a good lawyer.
You know, sometimes when I'm walking down the street, I'm not necessarily looking out and seeing all these water wasting lawns and people that aren't as connected to their neighbors and their lives as they could be, I'm walking down the street looking, going, edible oases, rainwater, fed landscape, and just looking at the possibility of these sort of landscapes up and down the streets of neighborhoods and communities all across this world. Small actions do ripple, and they add up, and they have a cumulative impact. And so when you're building upon your small mindful actions, you know, you have the confidence and the ability to take on something a little bit greater. So that could be nice. This, in the context of where we're at as a planet with climate change and these really big issues, and people that are more disconnected and less skilled than ever, it becomes even more amazing and powerful how much of a solution this is to design these ecological gardens and to come together with shared vision and shared voice. There's never been a time where your choices have mattered more. Doing something as simple as us transforming a landscape creates a model that anybody can look at far and wide, and you're sharing food and connecting and building skills together in your own neighborhood. It's a richer way to live in normal times, but in the new normal of climate change and erratic weather and economic upheaval, it becomes essential. Whether it's me, you, Gandhi, Che, MLK, Willy Wonka, whoever, past, present, or future, the power of our daily actions is all that we have. You know, and like our community said, give me a place to stand and a lever long enough and I'll move the world. And that's what those simple actions do. They move the world every day.
This is why you took a second job. Why you taught yourself how to fix the plumbing. Why you'll do whatever it takes to keep your home. And that is why we want to help. We are making home affordable, a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. Call 888-995-HOPE today.
Broadcasting around the nation, on your radio, on your TV, and online. This is The Bill Press Show.
America is being terrorized. Another mass shooting in San Bernardino County, the city of San Bernardino yesterday in California. That is number 351 this year for only 334 days of 2015, more than one a day, where more than 4 people have been killed by gunfire. What are we going to do about it? That's the thread of today's show. Hello, everybody. It is, when are we finally going to take some action? It is Thursday, December 3rd. Thank you for joining us today on the radio, your local progressive talk radio station nationwide. We're here with you. Also, remember, if you're not lucky enough to have a good progressive talk station or any progressive talk station where you are, you can download the 2 great radio apps available. One is called TuneIn. The other is iHeartRadio. They're both free. They'll both connect you to one of our great affiliates. And you can follow The Bill Press Show on the radio wherever you go in this country. We're also with you on television, of course, nationwide, coast to coast, on Free Speech TV. And good to see you there as well. Fortunate this morning to have 2 outstanding Democratic progressive members of Congress with us as guests. Congressman Mark Pocan from Madison, Wisconsin, will be joining us a little bit later in the program. Right now, we say hello to a good friend of ours representing Illinois' 9th Congressional District, joining us on our newsline, Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky. Congresswoman, good morning.
Thank you for having me, Bill.
Glad to hear. I want to start with a little clip. You know, last night was a festive ceremony, the lighting of the congressional Christmas tree in front of the Capitol. And here was Speaker Paul Ryan on San Bernardino.
Please keep the victims and their families in your prayers right now.
So, Congresswoman, my question is, yes, we need the prayers, but don't we need more than that?
I'll tell you, Bill, the last time there was a shooting and members of Congress gathered in the well, it was the one with the Oregon shooting at the junior college. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. There was this moment after the moment of silence where the House was still quiet, and I literally screamed out, "Now let's do something."
Good for you.
Because these moments of silence, and we're bound to have one, if not today, we'll have it on Monday, and we will, all send our thoughts and our prayers, which we do, to the families and to the community and to those who are injured. And then, once again, we won't do anything about those assault weapons that were used to murder those people. I mean, it's just unbelievable that we can't seem to get beyond the thoughts and prayers.
And what we're talking about, right, and I know you've made this point so many times, the universal background checks or banning assault weapons. 93% of the American people, I saw on CNN last night, support universal background checks. I mean, why is the gun lobby that powerful?
These are also members of the NRA that support these background checks, these simple things. Look, Bill, this week we just saw another example of how the NRA was able to stop, the people that can get guns include people who are on the terrorist watch list.
Yes. The no-fly list. Yes.
And the NRA is so determined to keep that guns could be in anybody's hands that we can't even eliminate those people who can't get on an airplane from getting they can go out and get a gun. So it's just astonishing to me that they still seem to have this lock when the American people, and it's going to take that. I mean, I work with a lot of these groups. Moms Demand Action.
Oh, yeah, they're a great group, right?
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. These are, people who just want their children to be safe when they go to school, when they go out in the community. What does it take? Each time, and I really do think that we're reaching, I hope, the breaking point where the American people also rise up and say enough is enough.
I would every time this happened, but of course we thought Sandy Hook was the moment, right?
Yeah.
And since then, there's been Aurora and Roseburg you mentioned, and Charleston, and it just goes on and on.
And when you say 351 or
351,
yeah,
this year.
That's mass shootings. That does not include all of the gun violence that is, every Monday in Chicago, you open up the newspaper and you see what has happened over the weekend. And, of course, we're dealing with this situation of a murder of a 17-year-old. We live in fear of guns, and we don't need to.
Yeah, it's 89 as according to the Brady Group, I guess it's called, right?
Yeah.
That 89 a day die of gunfire in the United States. We have reached a point where...
And even suicide. The proliferation of guns means that the availability of guns for people who are depressed to kill themselves. We are, as you started, being terrorized by these weapons.
Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky, our guest from Illinois, the 9th Congressional District, city of Chicago. Congresswoman, so we've hardly recovered from Colorado Springs and the attack on the Planned Parenthood clinic before we have to deal with this now new situation in San Bernardino. But in Planned Parenthood, there was a big question raised there about the motivation of this guy and the rhetoric that what he said when he was arrested reflected in the rhetoric that we hear from so many of the Republican politicians, particularly the candidates for president. Do you think there's any connection between the two?
He did say baby body parts.
Yep.
That language, let me just quote to you from John Boehner when he announced the members of this select committee on which I am now the ranking Democrat. Speaker Boehner said, quote, "Recent videos exposing abortion for baby parts business have shocked the nation and demanded action." Marsha Blackburn, a Republican woman who is the chairwoman now of that select committee, says, "We now have a select panel that will examine the sale of baby body parts." And of the 8 members on the Republican side that are on this committee, 33 times among them they have said in the past while those words about baby parts.
Yeah.
Now, so it's just not a coincidence that someone words really matter. Words matter.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't see how you can deny the link. I mean, he's basically quoting them. And among the presidential candidates, Carly Fiorina, Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, go down the list, right? They have Ben Carson. They've all used that exact phrase.
They have all used that, and Carly Fiorina has gone even further to, in the face of the facts, continue to lie about what she claims to have seen in these doctored videotapes. It's not even in the doctored videotapes. There isn't a squirming fetus that she claims to have seen. I mean, it's grotesque descriptions, the most inflammatory language that they seem to be able to conjure up in order to attack these clinics that treat women and men, by the way, for preventive and primary care.
Congresswoman, you mentioned Chicago briefly. I want to come back to that. Mayor Rahm Emanuel firing Police Superintendent Gary McCarthy the other day he said he'd become a distraction, but we're talking about a murder of a 17-year-old LaGuan McDonald that happened 13 months ago. Is the firing of the superintendent enough of a response to that?
Well, the mayor has also appointed now a task force to look into the whole accountability of the police. But what seems to be happening now is that the issue of a cover-up has become, to the forefront. Has come to the forefront now. And in general, I think we're now seeing the force of this movement of Black Lives Matter, where young people are really taking the lead and are simply not going to let these things just go by. So I don't see this incident now having full closure until there's a much deeper dive into what is going on with the police department in Chicago and around the country.
Right. No, it's not just Chicago. It's just the latest iteration we've seen of this. But this video was available. The murder happened in October 2014.
Right.
Don't you believe we would never have seen this video if a court had not ordered it released?
Well, and I also want to make the point that it was a rather not very well-known journalist who finally sued in order to get this tape. So he's kind of a hero of the story in a way, making sure that the court had the opportunity to make the decision about releasing the video. We would not have known, and in fact, the City Council of Chicago agreed to authorize $5 million to the family.
Based on what, right?
That's the thing. Who was asking questions?
Right.
Why are we giving $5 million to the family of this boy that was shot 16 times? It's it's a larger story that I don't think is going to be going away soon.
The famous words of Ronald Reagan, "The buck stops here," Mayor Rahm Emanuel, are his hands clean, and do you think he should resign over this?
Oh no, I don't think Rahm needs to resign, but I do think that there needs to be a full investigation. I think a lot of people are skeptical, really, about the panel that he has appointed, but there is the FBI and the Justice Department do have all of the information. And now the Illinois Attorney General has called for the Justice Department to come in for a full investigation as well. We'll see how that comes out. But this is not over. I don't see that ending in Rahm Emanuel's resignation, but I do see it ending in much greater scrutiny of what's going on in our police department, and that's sparking these kinds of investigations, I think, all over the country.
All across the country. Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky, thank you so much, Congresswoman. It's good to have you with us again today, as always. And we count on you to give them hell as the ranking Democrat on that committee.
You can count on it.
All right.
Okay, thanks.
Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky. You heard her comments on San Bernardino. Your chance to comment. Is this finally the time? Did we finally reach the breaking point where people will rise up and demand action from these cowardly politicians on sensible, common sense gun safety measures? 866-55-PRESS. Let's talk about it.
Connect with The Bill Press Show on Twitter. Follow us at BP Show and tweet using the hashtag WatchingBP. This is The Bill Press Show.
Hey, here we go, friends and neighbors. A little time out here to talk about this Free Speech TV pledge drive. It's our December pledge drive. Your last chance to help free speech and to take advantage of the tax deduction before the end of the year. Heading into the weekend, we encourage you to not to wait any longer, to take advantage of this opportunity to show your support for free speech right now. As I mentioned the other day, no more Mr. Nice Guy just telling you how much we love you and how much we know you love us, and therefore you're going to help us. No. I told you I was going to get a little tougher. In fact, it came out and said, come on, make your pledge, damn it. And guess what? It worked. We had the biggest day we had so far just because I used the damn it phrase. So let's try it again, all right? Let's be a little tougher. Stop farting around. Yeah, come on, get off your ass and make your pledge, damn it, and do it today. We need your help. Seriously, look, we wouldn't even be doing this pledge drive. We wouldn't even be asking for your help if it weren't important. You know about Free Speech TV. It is such a rare national treasure, and I'm so proud to be part of it. It is the only independent, the only progressive, the only totally freewheeling, the only non-corporate media out there on television that you can enjoy 24/7 with such great hosts and great information and great opportunity to get your voices out there. And if that's what you want and that's what you appreciate, then please show your appreciation by helping us as much as you can. Any pledge is valuable. Any pledge we appreciate. Any pledge keeps us going. We just ask you to be as generous as you can. And you do your share. We'll do our share by sending you some wonderful little gifts to accompany your pledge. If you can just help us with $30, a pledge for $30, we'll send you a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and pen set. For $60, that's $5 a month. Come on, a Free Speech TV calendar with a photograph for every month of one of your favorite Free Speech TV hosts, including yours truly. $120, $10 a month for Bill Press Show pint glasses. You can sip while you watch. For $240, a little package put together for the Women's Bean Project, a contribution to that great project, like a little can of soup and a bundle of cornbread, and 2 of those Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $360, a Cow Press scarf like this one that's just $30 a month. Some of you have already done this. I've heard from some of you, and so excited to get a Carol Press scarf for that $360 pledge. For $1,000, you get yourself to Washington early in 2016. Carol and I will take you out to dinner and come on in the next morning and meet our whole team here. Make your pledge today, again, as generously as you can to 877-378-8669 or go online to freespeech.org. Again, thank you for your help. Happy holidays.
I grew up in the housing projects of Cleveland. I didn't even know that life could be any better than it was. Education for me has been a way to get away from the agony of what was normal life. I want to be able to impact the community. not just look back on where I came from, but to reach back to where I came from and pull some people up with me. My name is David, and I am your dividend.
Service and the Ad Council.
Streaming live video right now at youtube.com/TawkrTV. That's TAWKR-TV. This is The Bill Press Show.
Hey, here we go at 23 minutes after the hour. It is The Bill Press Show. We're coming to you live from Washington, D.C., our studio on Capitol Hill. With our gang here, as always, Peter Ogburn is still out, but doing better, and we'll definitely be back on Monday. Jamie Benson and Ray Rogers and Cyprian Bolding, the team keeping us going here on a chilly day in Washington, D.C., which is why one of the reasons you see me wearing, those of you watching and those of you on the radio, just have a feeling, I bet, that on a day like today, I'm wearing a beautiful Carol Press scarf. I encourage you to go to our website, BillPressShow.com, and follow the link to Carol Press scarves at the very top on the right-hand side and see all the different colors and designs available for this year. This is a beautiful kind of red and black check in a rayon chenille. She's got them there in rayon chenille and bamboo. Your holiday shopping begins at the Bill Press Show website, Bill Press Show, and Carol Press scarves at the very top. A beautiful gift for yourself or for someone you love. Good to talk to Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky and on the big story of the day. This horrific situation yesterday in the city of San Bernardino, a city I know well. The Inland Empire, about 35, 40 miles east of Los Angeles, where a disgruntled county employee showed up at the holiday luncheon for his health department yesterday, got into a fight with someone there, was asked to leave, did leave. It looks like he and his wife had planned something like this because he was back soon with his wife, dressed in battle gear, if you will, with assault weapons, and walked in and opened fire, killing 14 people and wounding 17. President Obama happened to be at the time giving an interview to Norah O'Donnell from the CBS Morning News. She asked his comments at one point that he made, I thought, which was very powerful. Of course, he said, how many of these is it going to take before we take some sensible gun control measures? And he said, nobody else on the planet, no other civilized country on the planet has this problem.
The one thing we do know is that we have a pattern now of mass shootings in this country that has no parallel anywhere else in the world.
Nowhere else in the world. Think about that. And as I mentioned a little earlier in the program, I mean, what struck me, I was one of the things, my immediate reactions to the news from San Bernardino yesterday was, it was just a couple of weeks ago that we talked here on the program, just before Thanksgiving, that Carol and I had plans to go to Europe for a Thanksgiving break, and so many of our friends and family were saying, oh, you can't go to Europe, it's too dangerous because of the terrorists. I mean, this country is the dangerous place. Think about it. I mean, think about Charleston, think about Roseburg, think about Sandy Hook. Right? Think about Aurora, Colorado. Think about Virginia Tech. I mean, here, Washington, D.C., on and on, these mass shootings. Dan Gross is the head of the Brady campaign. I got it wrong last night. It's not the Brady Group. It's a Brady campaign to prevent gun violence. Last night on CNN with Chris Hayes was talking about the level of violence in this country and how Americans are sick of it.
Over 93% of Americans support expanding Brady background checks to all gun sales. It's really just a small group of craven politicians that do the bidding of the gun lobby that prevent it.
And Dan also pointed out that there are 89 gun deaths, people killed by gunfire a day in this country. 300, and so far, the year 2015, 334 days have gone by, and we have experienced 351 mass shootings, defined as at least 4 people killed or wounded, seriously wounded by gunfire. More than one a day, which means there are a lot of these that we don't even hear about. We certainly don't hear about most of those 89 gun deaths a day, but even the mass shootings, there are so many of them that not all of them come to our attention, get our attention. But San Bernardino yesterday definitely will. Definitely did. We don't know still all the facts about what happened there, but we do know that the main factor in that shooting and all the rest of them is easy accessibility to guns, especially to long guns, to assault weapons, which used to be banned, which should be banned again. When we come back, we're going to take a break and talk about a big organizing drive by the Teamsters in California. We'll be right back.
This is the Bill Press Show.
This is why you took a second job. While you taught yourself how to fix the plumbing. While you'll do whatever it takes to keep your home. And that is why we want to help. We are making home affordable, a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. Call 888-995-HOPE today.
Hey, here we go, friends and neighbors. A little time out here to talk about this Free Speech TV pledge drive. It's our December pledge drive. Your last chance to help free speech and to take advantage of the tax deduction before the end of the year. Heading into the weekend, we encourage you to not to wait any longer, to take advantage of this opportunity to show your support for free speech right now. As I mentioned the other day, no more Mr. Nice Guy just telling you how much we love you and how much we know you love us, and therefore you're going to help us. No. I told you I was going to get a little tougher. In fact, they came out and said, come on, make your pledge, damn it. And guess what? It worked. We had the biggest day we had so far just because I used the damn it phrase. So let's try it again, all right? Let's be a little tougher. Stop farting around. Yeah, come on, get off your ass and make your pledge. Damn it, and do it today. We need your help. Seriously, look, we wouldn't even be doing this pledge drive. We wouldn't even be asking for your help if it weren't important. You know about Free Speech TV. It is such a rare national treasure, and I'm so proud to be part of it. It is the only independent, the only progressive, the only totally freewheeling, the only non-corporate media out there on television that you can enjoy 24/7 with such great hosts and great information and great opportunity to get your voices out there. And if that's what you want and that's what you appreciate, then please show your appreciation by helping us as much as you can. Any pledge is valuable. Any pledge we appreciate. Any pledge keeps us going. We just ask you to be as generous as you can. And you do your share. We'll do our share by sending you some wonderful little gifts to accompany your pledge. If you can just help us with $30. A pledge for $30, we'll send you a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and pen set. For $60, that's $5 a month. Come on, a Free Speech TV calendar with a photograph for every month of one of your favorite Free Speech TV hosts, including yours truly. $120, $10 a month for Bill Press Show pint glasses. You can sip while you watch. For $240, a little package put together for the Women's Bean Project, a contribution to that great project, a little can of soup and a bundle of cornbread, and 2 of those Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $360, a Carol Press scarf like this one that's just $30 a month. Some of you have already done this. I've heard from some of you, and so excited to get a Carol Press scarf for that $360 pledge. For $1,000, you get yourself to Washington early in 2016. Carol and I will take you out to dinner and go on in the next morning and meet our whole team here. Make your pledge today, again, as generously as you can to 877-378-8669, or go online to freespeech.org. Again, thank you for your help. Happy holidays.
On your radio, on TV, and online. This is The Bill Press Show.
Here we go now, 33 minutes after the hour of The Bill Press Show on this Thursday, December 3rd. Good to see you, and thank you for joining us. We are live in our nation's capital, coming to you live across the country on your local radio station and on Free Speech TV. We're brought to you today by the International Brotherhood of Teamsters. We all live better because of the good work of the men and women of the Teamsters Union. You can find out more about their good work at teamster.org under President Jim Hoffa. And you can talk to our guest at this moment about some of the great work the Teamsters are up to, particularly in the San Francisco Bay Area. Rome Alois is the International Vice President for the International Brotherhood of Teamsters from the San Francisco Bay Area. Hi, Rome. Nice to see you.
Good morning. How are you?
As a resident of the San Francisco Bay Area, it's nice to have a little touch of home here. And as a Californian, good to see a fellow Californian. Yeah.
It's good to be here.
How's Jerry Brown doing?
He's doing well. I had lunch with him a couple of weeks ago to talk about a number of things, and he's flourishing. I wish he could run for another term.
I wish he were 10 years younger and were running for president.
Yeah, you and me both.
You know, I worked for Jerry his first term, first 2 terms.
Right.
I was there just for 4 years. But I think, and watching him, and of course he went from there to mayor of Oakland, and then he was attorney general. And I think Jerry's at the peak of his career right now. I mean,
he's at a point where he does what he feels is the right thing, and he does it without the politics. And I actually am old enough that I worked on his first campaign. So
did you? Yeah.
You know, but he's done a wonderful job as governor, and as he did as the mayor of Oakland. And I told him, come back to Oakland if you're not going to be president. But I think he'd make a great president.
I think, Rome, that he has some. I've talked to him about this. I think he has some other plans.
Yeah, I would bet
post governorship.
Yes,
but anyhow, he did a good job as Oakland. So in the Bay Area, we've got probably the most successful and the wealthiest companies in the world, right, in the Silicon Valley. They're located in the Silicon Valley, but the people who work for them, so many of them live in San Francisco,
that's
right?
Correct.
And these companies are known for paying pretty good wages for their millennials who work there. How do they do for the service people who provide the services for those companies?
Well, not very well. They've come around to recognizing that these support people are vital to doing what they do. And, for instance, we've spent a lot of time organizing the shuttle bus drivers, and that brought recognition to the rest of these service employees that are basically feeding these people, driving them around, providing security and cleaning up after them. You know, basically, it's all contracted work out to subcontractors. They're not actually their employees, but
they depend on them.
They depend on them, and they've been forgotten, frankly. And this whole campaign has brought recognition to them.
Right. This is a support staff that the Teamsters have reached out to try to organize for what companies are we talking about?
We're talking about Apple, Genentech, Yahoo, Facebook was the first, Evernote, PayPal, eBay.
Wow.
The list of almost all of the companies.
All the ones you think of when you think of high tech.
Google is next, and Cisco, all of the major companies.
And you mentioned these shuttle buses. This is a phenomenon that I've heard about from friends of mine who live in San Francisco. So the young people who work for these firms that are located, 25, 30 miles south of San Francisco, right?
Yeah,
roughly in the Silicon Valley.
Right.
Yeah. But they love to live in San Francisco.
Absolutely.
Who wouldn't love to live in San Francisco, right?
I would love to myself.
Right, okay. Or Oakland. But the way they get to work is the companies provide these shuttle buses, right?
Exactly. These large, in some cases, double-decker, $800,000 buses that have hardwood floors, ambient lighting, Of course, Wi-Fi, so these kids can work to get back and forth and start working when they get on the bus. And they get shuttled, and it was pitched to the Mass Transit Authority that this was a way to remove a lot of traffic from the road. And it has, in fact, done that. I mean, there's 18,000 riders a day that get on these buses.
Wow. So what impact do they have? What I've heard from people is they're not happy because of the extra traffic that these people bring to the neighborhoods of San Francisco.
It backs up the pilot program that's in place allowed them to use the Muni stops. But you have Muni buses, and then you have lines of these buses that drive for these different companies in line to pick up these people that are using the Muni stops. So in the mornings, it's a line of buses going sometimes a whole block long waiting to get into these Muni stops and pick up their different employees that work for these companies.
I mean, I'm not a human calculator. I can't do the math in my head, but if you have these buses hold maybe 50 people max, right, and you've got 18,000 people, that's a lot of buses.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I think the other day I heard the figure of there's at any given time 300 buses on the street.
I've heard stories of residents of San Francisco egging the buses or something. Just
egging them. I can understand if I lived in some of these neighborhoods and you had these buses are diesel engines. They're noisy. They make, and they're big and they're driving through. It's a difficult job for the driver. But also, if you're living in a neighborhood and you're trying to get out of the way and these buses are coming down the street, it's hard to get out of town and it's hard to get across town.
So in your organizing campaign for these, on behalf of these drivers, you mentioned the security people, the food service people, the janitorial staff, and all of that. How successful have you been, and what kind of cooperation are you getting from these big companies, which are known sort of have your reputation for being progressive? I mean, they're high tech, so they've got to be progressive companies, right?
Well, initially, that couldn't have been further from the truth.
Really?
Their contractors, the first company we organized was a company called Loop Transportation that did the Facebook work. And they fought us all the way through the campaign. We won it. But once we won it, they must have been told by Facebook to negotiate a fair contract, and that happened, and it was embraced.
When you say you won it, how do you go? You go to the with these
National Labor
drivers?
Relations Board.
Oh, I see.
Election.
But you first have to get the
drivers have to authorize you to represent them, and
they've got to have to want to do it. They want to
correct.
join the union, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
And once that election was won, of course, it got international press because it was Facebook and the first crack in the Silicon Valley thing. And after a couple months later, when I met a Facebook lobbyist here in Washington, he says, why are you saying Facebook? It's Loop Transportation. I said, do you think anybody would care about us organizing Loop Transportation? Facebook was big news.
Right.
So that kind of lit the fuse for the rest of these organizing drives.
Yeah. And who are your next targets?
Well, it was next a company called Compass that drove for Apple, for about seven of the other big companies, Apple, Genentech, Yahoo, PayPal. They did 7 or 8 of them, unlike Loop that just did Facebook exclusively. This represented a number more. And that was another hard-fought campaign because it's an international company, TransDev, that really owns them. And they fought us, but we won that election also. And we just concluded that contract and had it voted on and approved a couple weeks ago. And these contracts have made systemic changes in the lives of these people. There were significant wage increases, corrected what they called splits, where these people would have to be gone from their homes for 12, 15 hours to get paid for 8. And of course, in the Bay Area, as you know, you can't live any place near the Silicon Valley unless you're making $200,000 or $300,000 a year.
Right.
So they drive in 60 and 70 miles to work. So we've made major changes in their lives because of these contracts.
So what is your contract? What are they getting? Are they getting minimum wage?
Well, they were making $17 an hour, and now the range is from $26 to $31.50. For those jobs.
Yeah.
The Facebook people and the Compass people have health care that's Facebook is 100% paid for. The rest have significant increases in the amount the employer pays. They never had any paid holidays. So we were very thankful at Thanksgiving this year that they actually got paid for Thanksgiving.
For Thanksgiving, yeah.
And they've got 10 and 11 paid holidays, and sick leave they never had before. So it's been a significant change in these drivers' livelihoods.
So you've been successful with the drivers, equally successsul with the security people and the food service and janitorial, or are you working on them next?
Unlike most of the time with the Teamsters, these people have all called us to represent them, but we've actually allowed the SEIU, who does a lot of security, to do the security forces and the janitorial staffs. And the HERE is doing the food service people. So we're assisting them. There's a coalition called Silicon Valley Rising that a number of unions and community organizations are in, and we work with that, and we've worked through that to organize.
Yeah, good news. Good news on the labor front, which we're glad to see with our high-tech industry in the Silicon Valley in California, thanks to the leadership of the Teamsters Union, particularly of Roma Lois, who's with us here in studio, International Vice President for the International Brotherhood of Teamsters. If you want to have a question or a call, maybe this is an organizing campaign. You can get Rome to send some people to your community to start this nationwide movement here. 866-55-PRESS, our toll-free number. We'll be right back. Hey, here we go, friends and neighbors. A little time out here to talk about this Free Speech TV pledge drive. It's our December pledge drive. Your last chance to help free speech and to take advantage of the tax deduction before the end of the year. Heading into the weekend, we encourage you to not to wait any longer, to take advantage of this opportunity to show your support for free speech right now. As I mentioned the other day, no more Mr. Nice Guy just telling you how much we love you and how much we know you love us, and therefore you're going to help us. No. I told you I was going to get a little tougher. In fact, they came out and said, come on, make your pledge, damn it. And guess what? It worked. We had the biggest day we had so far just because I used the damn it phrase. So let's try it again, all right? Let's be a little tougher. Stop farting around. Yeah, come on, get off your ass and make your pledge, damn it, and do it today. We need your help. Seriously, look, we wouldn't even be doing this pledge drive. We wouldn't even be asking for your help if it weren't important. You know about Free Speech TV. It is such a rare national treasure, and I'm so proud to be part of it. It is the only independent, the only progressive, the only totally freewheeling, the only non-corporate media out there on television that you can enjoy 24/7 with such great hosts and great information and great opportunity to get your voices out there. And if that's what you want and that's what you appreciate, then please show your appreciation by helping us as much as you can. Any pledge is valuable. Any pledge we appreciate. Any pledge keeps us going. We just ask you to be as generous as you can. And you do your share. We'll do our share by sending you some wonderful little gifts to accompany your pledge. If you can just help us with $30, a pledge for $30, we'll send you a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and pen set. For $60, that's $5 a month. Come on, a Free Speech TV calendar with a photograph for every month of one of your favorite Free Speech TV hosts, including yours truly. $120, $10 a month for Bill Press Show pint glasses. You can sip while you watch. For $240, a little package put together for the Women's Bean Project, a contribution to that great project. A little can of soup and a bundle of cornbread, and 2 of those Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $360, a Carol Press scarf like this one that's just $30 a month. Some of you have already done this. I've heard from some of you, and so excited to get a Carol Press scarf for that $360 pledge. For $1,000, you get yourself to Washington early in 2016. Carol and I will take you out to dinner and come on in the next morning and meet our whole team here. Make your pledge today, again, as generously as you can to 877-378-8669, or go online to freespeech.org. Again, thank you for your help. Happy holidays.
Connect with The Bill Press Show on Twitter. Follow us at BP Show and tweet using the hashtag WatchingBP. This is The Bill Press Show.
12 minutes before the top of the hour, Congressman Mark Pocan from Madison, Wisconsin, will be with us in studio in the next hour. Right now, we're talking organizing, we're talking unions, we're talking great success of the Teamsters in the Silicon Valley of California with Rome Alois, the international vice president for the Teamsters from that area. Really great success with other unions of organizing the support staff, the blue-collar workers who keep the great high-tech industry going, whether they're driving their buses or protecting their properties or providing the food service or cleaning up after them. So, Rome, you mentioned some of the contracts that you've won. Are there any outstanding? Are there any targets now that people ought to know about?
Well, there's a couple of the companies that still have
Google,
not.
maybe?
Google is one where the drivers have not been organized yet. They're one of our next targets. And we've organized a company called Google Express, which is tries to do the same thing as Amazon does.
Yeah.
And their contractor has horribly fought us. We're in court with them now over these poor people that are making $12, $13 an hour, battling their right to have a union. So we're not sure where Google's going to go on
this. A related thing, we are this little Bill Press show. We're a small shop, but we are a union shop, right? We are members of SAG-AFTRA. I'm a lifelong member of SAG-AFTRA. And what's interesting is in the field of journalism, there's been a lot of organizing lately, successfully. The most recent Huffington Post, the employees, all the journalistic staff voted to join the Writers Guild East. Arianna Huffington, the founder of Huffington Post, said, "Fine, that's what you want to do. Okay with me." They joined Gawker, Think Progress, Salon, Vice, and others that have also joined the Writers Guild East. So among young people, I was going to ask if you find this, there's maybe a movement to recognize the importance of unions and why they ought to, sign up.
I think that's true. We've noticed that with the riders, when we were organizing the bus drivers, the people that were riding on the bus, with mostly a young group of employees, were very supportive of it, and they supported the drivers, and they asked questions about how the union works and became very interested in it. And we've noticed that with workers in other areas that are not putting up with the fact that they're not getting their fair piece of the pie, and they don't feel they're being compensated decently. And with this society of having contractors doing everything where you don't work directly for the company whose shirt you might be wearing, it's very frustrating. And workers, I think, are getting fed up with it. And young workers, the millennials, as they're called, I think feel a little bit like they're entitled to more, and they are, frankly. So we're seeing a little upsurge in organizing.
Well, to talk about the riders, the people who actually have these jobs at Google and Facebook and not the ones who are serving them, are they organized? Are they?
No, they're not. And I think that's a fear of all of these tech companies that what we started might lead to that.
Is there any union that is trying to organize the tech companies?
We would be happy to. I mean, we're the union to everybody. We're the most diverse union in this country, so we'd be more than happy to talk with them. And we've had discussions, but there's been nothing really that's happened. And a significant amount of them are individually contracted to the companies also. They're not actual employees. So I'm not sure what the percentage of that would be, but I'm sure that's inhibiting it a little bit. And they're well paid. The benefits, if you go on like the Facebook campus, it's an incredible place. It's like you're in Disneyland.
Yeah. Oh, no. I mean, you go to, I've been to Google's offices here in Washington. I mean, who wouldn't want to work there, right?
Exactly.
Exactly. I mean,
they're well treated.
They feed you all day long. They have rooms you can go take a nap. They have rooms you can go play games. I mean,
They're looking for benefits because they have to do it to keep the people, because they move quickly.
Before you leave, you mentioned the Teamsters being one of the most, if not the most diverse union, I guess, in the country. Most people don't know that. You still think of Teamsters as truck drivers, right? But I know from my many times together, good times together with President Jim Hoffa, you're in all kinds of different areas.
I worked my first 15 years I've been a Teamster official for 40 years. So I worked my first 15 years as an organizer, and we organize everything from zookeepers to district attorneys and everything in between. I don't think you could mention a type of work that we don't represent someplace in the country.
And a lot in the airline industry.
Airlines, pilots, flight attendants, mechanics, thousands and thousands of mechanics. There's not hardly anything you can look at that we don't have at some place in the country.
All right. Teamsters strong and stronger than ever in the Silicon Valley. Great work. Congratulations on your success there, and hope it keeps going. And Google, next in line.
You got him. Thank you.
Rome Malloy's International Vice President. You know the website is teamster.org. Great to see you, Rome. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Bill. Appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, here we go, friends and neighbors. A little time out here to talk about this Free Speech TV pledge drive. It's our December pledge drive. Your last chance to help free speech and to take advantage of the tax deduction before the end of the year. Heading into the weekend, we encourage you to not to wait any longer, to take advantage of this opportunity to show your support for free speech right now. As I mentioned the other day, no more Mr. Nice Guy just telling you how much we love you and how much we know you love us, and therefore you're going to help us. No. I told you I was going to get a little tougher. In fact, they came out and said, come on, make your pledge, damn it. And guess what? It worked. We had the biggest day we had so far just because I used the damn it phrase. So let's try it again, all right? Let's be a little tougher. Stop farting around. Yeah, come on, get off your ass and make your pledge. Damn it, and do it today. We need your help. Seriously, look, we wouldn't even be doing this pledge drive. We wouldn't even be asking for your help if it weren't important. You know about Free Speech TV. It is such a rare national treasure, and I'm so proud to be part of it. It is the only independent, the only progressive, the only totally freewheeling, the only non-corporate media out there on television that you can enjoy 24/7 with such great hosts and great information and great opportunity to get your voices out there. And if that's what you want and that's what you appreciate, then please show your appreciation by helping us as much as you can. Any pledge is valuable. Any pledge we appreciate. Any pledge keeps us going. We just ask you to be as generous as you can. And you do your share. We'll do our share by sending you some wonderful little gifts to accompany your pledge. If you can just help us with $30. A pledge for $30, we'll send you a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and pen set. For $60, that's $5 a month. Come on, a Free Speech TV calendar with a photograph for every month of one of your favorite Free Speech TV hosts, including yours truly. $120, $10 a month for Bill Press Show pint glasses. You can sip while you watch. For $240, a little package put together for the Women's Bean Project, a contribution to that great project. A little can of soup and a bundle of cornbread, and 2 of those Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $360, a Carol Press scarf like this one that's just $30 a month. Some of you have already done this. I've heard from some of you, and so excited to get a Carol Press scarf for that $360 pledge. For $1,000, you get yourself to Washington early in 2016. Carol and I will take you out to dinner and come on in the next morning and meet our whole team here. Make your pledge today, again, as generously as you can to 877-378-8669 or go online to freespeech.org. Again, thank you for your help. Happy holidays.
This is the Bill Press Show.
Police in San Bernardino County and from the city of San Bernardino now saying that the main perpetrator of yesterday's massacre, along with his wife. A county employee attended that holiday party and then left the party angry, thrown out of the party, and came back with his wife and the guns and opened fire. We'll talk more about that with Congressman Mark Pocan in the next hour. President Obama gets a daily briefing with the Vice President today. Then he's going to meet with members of Congress to discuss criminal justice reform. This afternoon, he will be joined by the First Family to light the national Christmas tree on the ellipse behind the White House. We will be gathering White House reporters with Press Secretary Josh Earnest for today's daily briefing at 12:15. Back with Tierney Sneed from Talking Points.
This is the Bill Press Show.
The hardest moments for me is when I'm laying awake in the middle of the night and I'm thinking about all the times I made a pitcher of Kool-Aid with the water, or I boiled a pot of corn or potatoes with the water. Those thoughts just stick with me in the middle of the night, and I feel horrible as a mom that I didn't know that something was wrong, but how could I have known? There's no way I would have known.
The spill at Dan River happened when a drainage pipe that ran underneath an ash basin and dam collapsed, sucking out 6 decades of waste and spewing gunk directly into the river.
My husband and I just kind of looked at each other like, should we be concerned? We live right next to an ash pond, and this was coal ash spilling into the Dan River, and we learned at that point all of the toxins that were included in coal ash.
A situation like Dan River, where there was a catastrophic disaster, gets people's attention, but the fact is that these coal ash pits have been leaking and poisoning people's groundwater and the state's surface waters for decades. Coal ash is the residue left behind after coal is burned in a coal-fired power plant. A large coal-fired power plant can burn 10 million tons of coal a year. When the organic matter in the coal is burned away, what's left behind are these trace minerals, things like arsenic, lead, mercury, selenium, and chromium. And these are highly concentrated. The coal ash can have concentrations of these contaminants that are 10 to 100 times greater than the level in the coals themselves.
Coal ash pond number 1 is right behind my house, literally pretty much in my backyard. We were approached by a neighbor who was wanting to have their well tested, and we decided that maybe we should have ours tested as well. They found hexavalent chromium at 4.5 parts per billion.
So in talking to the residents, we have discovered anecdotal evidence of an extraordinary number of cancers for this fairly small community.
Some of us in the community got together. We started kind of talking about all the cancer that we've seen in some of our family friends in this community. I think we had somewhere in the neighborhood of around 70 names. So we had some help from our river keepers putting a map together, and it was a little shocking to see it. You know, I still have a hard time looking at it.
Technically, EPA has not regulated coal ash as a hazardous waste, but it is undeniable that coal ash contains many, many hazardous substances that are hazardous, in fact, to people and the environment. And the only reason they have not been regulated as such is because of intense lobbying efforts by the coal industry and its allies.
A lot of these chemicals are simple elements, but when you find them at the levels that they exist in around coal ash ponds, then you're starting to talk about cancer, brain tumors, you're talking about birth defects, developmental problems, neurotoxicity.
we began to look at legal options, cases that we could bring in court to protect communities and their citizens from these toxic leaking time bombs. In 2002, North Carolina enacted a public financing mechanism for judicial elections. This kept private money out of judicial elections.
The repeal of the public financing program in judicial elections in North Carolina creates a dangerous precedent for all, and it gives corporate polluters and other special interests the opportunity to elect the judges that they want. And this is important for us all. Everyone should care about this. Because when you think about the fact that the state and the federal government have basically abdicated their responsibility to regulate these issues, the state courts are the last stopgap.
I think this is no longer a problem that's going to go under the radar. It has been exposed, and I am confident that we will ultimately, with the facts, win out and ensure that we have protected waterways.
And so this is something that we all should care about. If we're worried about the water we drink and the air we breathe, we have to be concerned about money in judicial elections.
At Earth Justice, we defend the environment in the courtroom. Join our fight. When you take a seat, you take a stand. Earth Justice, because the Earth needs a good lawyer.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds. At highway speeds, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Stop the texts, stop the wrecks.
Broadcasting around the nation, on your radio, on your TV, and online. This is The Bill Press Show.
America is being terrorized. Another one yesterday in San Bernardino, California. That is mass shooting number 351 for 2015, and we only have had gone 334 days so far this year, more than one a day. Enough is enough. Hey, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Bill Press Show this Thursday, December 3rd. Great to see you, and thank you for joining us on the radio, your local progressive talk radio station. Thank you for joining us on television, Free Speech TV, coming to you nationwide from our studio right here on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C., and reaching out to you everywhere in this great land of ours on the radio, on television, and looking forward to hearing from you. The old-fashioned way, give us a call at 866-55-PRESS. Weigh in on the issues of the day or send us your comments the new way, the 21st century way, on Twitter at BP Show or on Facebook at facebook.com/BillPressShow. Peter Ogburn doing well. He'll be back on Monday. And so we've got Jamie Benson running the whole show.
Good morning.
And doing a good job of it as well. Stepping up to the plate there. Ray Rogers, here as always to take your calls, 866-55-PRESS again, and Cyprian Bolding, yes, keeping us looking good on Free Speech TV and on our worldwide, on our video stream, TawkrTV. Great fun to welcome to the studio this half hour with us from Talking Points Memo, a national political reporter, Tierney Sneed. Hi, Tierney. Nice to see you.
Hello. Good to see you, too.
Thanks for coming in. Yes, indeed. You know, federal money is spent on a lot of silly things sometimes. Jimmy Fallon reported last night about a federally funded study that was just, the results of which were just released, which could have an impact on the 2016 presidential campaign. that you have been reporting on. Here it goes.
And this is interesting here. I read that the federal government recently spent $375,000 to fund a study on the dating habits of senior citizens. I wonder which government official wanted that study.
I'm 60, I'm not married, I don't have any kids.
Yeah, I guess we'll never know. Who could it be? I guess we'll never know.
Who could it be?
We recognize that voice, don't we?
Yes.
I'm 60, I'm not married, I don't have any kids. From South Carolina.
I wish Peter were here because he does the best Lindsey Graham.
I know he does, doesn't he? President Lindsey Graham. There he is. Yeah. Last time I saw him, he was in Iraq with John McCain. Has he ever come back?
No, he's back. Is
he back now?
Oh, yeah. He's always running around the hill. Loves to give a good interview, a good quote. I'm a big Lindsey Graham fan in terms of just someone's fun to hear talk.
By the way, he's the funniest of all the candidates.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? We missed him in the last debate.
I know.
Yeah.
He's got some great jokes up his sleeve.
I know, yeah. He may be the next one to drop out, but reporters will miss him.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. So Tierney's with us for the first half hour, and then we'll be joined by Congressman Mark Pocan from Wisconsin, Madison, Wisconsin. We'll get right into the news of the day. In fact, some interesting developments on the voting rights front. But first,
this
Jamie with the big stories of the day.
All right, just a couple of other stories for you on this Thursday morning. It's that time of the year again. Barbara Walters is about to unveil her 10 most fascinating people of the year list.
When she retired, I thought we got rid of that.
They bring her back out just once a year for this, Bill.
All right.
Here's on the list. What do you want to guess? Any folks who might be on the list?
The 10 most interesting people?
Mm-hmm. Fascinating. Yep.
I don't know.
One's a presidential candidate.
No, Bernie Sanders has got to be on the list.
Bernie Sanders is on the list, joined by the actor Bradley Cooper, Amy Schumer, Tracy Morgan. This one's a cool one. American Ballet Theater principal dancer Misty Copeland, UFC champion Ronda Rousey, and fashion designer Donna Karan. If you want to know who was ranked number one, tune into ABC on December 17th at 9:30 p.m.
By the way, I also saw that Bernie Sanders is leading the online voting for Man of the Year, Person of the Year for Time Magazine.
Wow.
Yeah.
He'll probably get it.
The internet loves Bernie Sanders.
But
the internet loves Bernie Sanders.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Don't write anything mean about Bernie Sanders. You'll get hate mail out the wazoo.
All right, so you may have seen this headline the other day if you visit the Drudge Report. Matt Drudge put up a headline about the new film The Revenant, which is getting some Oscar buzz. Leonardo DiCaprio stars in the film. If you've seen the trailer, there's quite a bit of violence, and some violence involving a bear.
Yeah.
Matt Drudge put up this misleading headline the other day, basically insinuating that Leonardo DiCaprio gets raped by a bear in the film. 20th Century Fox was forced to deny those internet reports, came out and saying, no, anyone who's seen the movie can attest the bear in the film is a female who attacks Hugh Glass, the actor, because she feels he might be threatening her cubs. There is clearly no rape scene with the bear.
With Leonardo DiCaprio. Oh, okay.
Or a rape scene involving a
with
bear
anybody.
whatsoever.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
Rumor.
Not that I see the movie anyhow, but go ahead.
And finally, for those fans, I shouldn't say it this way, for those of you who take a active stance against domestic violence, this is a big victory. Chris Brown, who has been in the headlines frequently, most notably for a dispute with his ex-girlfriend Rihanna back in 2013, was supposed to appear on The Daily Show last night with Trevor Noah. In fact, Trevor Noah was going to attempt to address some of those domestic violence questions with Chris Brown. However, his production staff was so upset about the prospect of Chris Brown potentially appearing on the show that Trevor Noah made the executive decision to axe Mr. Brown from the program altogether. So Chris Brown will not be appearing on The Daily Show.
Yeah. Now only some people would make that same decision about Donald Trump.
That's a very good point.
Yeah. The production staff. Exercise your power. Use your power to get some of these guests we don't want to see off the air. Anyhow, so Tierney, you have been reporting on voting rights. This whole issue of voting rights, I find appalling that in this day and age we're still fighting over the fundamental what is what sort of defines us as citizens, right, in this country, ability to vote. It seems to me that we should all be above politics in terms of expanding it for we want everybody to vote, right, make it easier and more accessible for people to vote, and we seem to, but the politics of today seems to be going in the opposite direction. A lot of it based on a Supreme Court decision. So where are we today? What's the latest?
Next week, with the Supreme Court's taking up, or going to be hearing arguments on 2 voting rights case. One a little bit smaller, but the big one that people are going to be watching is a case called Evanwell, and it has to do with the concept of one person, one vote, and the idea that districts are drawn based on total population. So, if you're a politician, you represent everyone, not just the voters, not just the voters, or the citizens of voting age. And it's been kind of just an assumed thing that hasn't been controversial, for the last 50 years or so. But there's this new challenge, and it's being led by Edward Bloom, who, if you're in the civil rights community, you might recognize his name, because he has brought past challenges to the Supreme Court to the Voting Rights Act and also to affirmative action. So he's kind of has a reputation for being very good at getting these sort of monumental challenges in front of the Supreme Court.
In front of the Supreme Court. Did he bring the main challenge to the 1965 Voting Rights Act?
The Shelby case? Yeah. Yes. So that case, Shelby County, came from Alabama a couple years ago, 2013, is when the decision came down. And in that case, the Supreme Court gutted Section 5 of the Voting Rights Act, which had required states and localities with a history of racism to get approval before they passed voting laws. And now we're seeing a bunch of, states passing these voting restrictions.
Yeah, there were 20-some of them the last time around.
So that's certainly something that people are worried about, further damage being done to the Voting Rights Act. And in this case, what seems to be kind of the pivotal issue is the ability to draw minority-majority districts, this idea that you can draw districts that will give minorities a chance to elect the candidates of their choice. But if you move away from using total population to do that, it becomes much harder. So that is the case definitely to watch. In terms of voting rights. And then there's another redistricting case coming out of Arizona that will also be watched. So that'll be
there's Supreme Court. And then there has been a lot of news lately about Alabama. You mentioned Alabama earlier.
Yeah, so this, again, also goes back to the Shelby case and some more recent news in Alabama. I don't know if you remember a couple months ago, Alabama announced that it was shuttering about 30 of its driver's license offices due to budget issues. However, the concern there is Alabama also has a tough photo voter ID where you're required to have a photo ID to vote.
And where you get your photo ID, for most people, is their driver's license, which comes from the DMV, and they're shutting down the DMV offices.
And more concerning still is that a lot of these DMV offices were in areas of high concentration of African Americans, which were already disproportionately less likely to have the ID necessary. So, we saw a lot of outcry, 2016 candidates, mostly Democrats, as well as national lawmakers bringing attention to this. And now we have the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, which yesterday announced a lawsuit. And that is related to Shelby County, the Supreme Court decision, and the fact that Alabama was only able to implement this vote.
Because they were let out from under.
Yeah, so they were no longer required to get approval for it. So that's how they're able to implement this photo voter ID law in the first place.
Yeah, and, in the past, every time... Isn't it true that every time that that the Voting Rights Act came up for renewal, it was just like almost automatic, right?
Yeah,
Republicans and Democrats always did it.
It's only been in recent years that it's kind of become this partisan issue, and that now there with the Section 5 being gutted. There's, of course, a lot of calls from civil rights groups to, restore it. Congress would just have to rewrite basically the law. Or rewrite that provision to restore it. In theory, it shouldn't be that hard of work. But there just hasn't been any energy from the Republican side of Congress to do that. So it kind of just sits. There's been legislation, floated to do that, but no real momentum on it. So now the Justice Department and these private civil rights groups are having to sue states one by one to challenge their laws, rather than before when there was this safeguard. That was in place.
These voter restrictions and attempts to in any way make it more difficult to vote in, again, I forget, 23, 25 states, whatever, last year. Wasn't there, don't I remember that ALEC was involved in these? Do you know?
Yes. I mean,
American
there's
Legislative
definitely...
Exchange Council, the Koch brothers.
Yeah, I mean, there has been some reports tying them to some of the stuff. I mean, there is this sort of... I would call it almost a dogma at this point among some circles that, there's all this voter fraud and we need ID to crack down all this voter fraud, but it's really, really rare. And in a lot of cases when you do see it, a photo ID doesn't even prevent it. So it seems like a solution looking for a problem.
All these allegations of voter fraud have never been proven.
Yeah,
never.
So it seems like kind of a solution looking for a problem, and the effects are that it makes it harder for a lot of populations, conveniently left-leaning minority populations to vote, but also older people, disabled people. Minorities get a lot of the attention here, but there's a lot of other classes of people that are also negatively affected by these laws.
Yeah, our most sacred right, the right to vote, has been under attack, continues to be in front of the Supreme Court again next week. Tierney Sneed with us from Talking Points Memo. You've also spent a lot of time on the 2016 campaign. I want to catch up with the latest and the fate of Ben Carson and Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio and all the rest when we come back. You want to jump in with a question or a comment about voting rights or 2016, 866-55-PRESS is the way to do it. We'll be right back.
Follow us on Twitter @BP Show. This is The Bill Press Show.
Hey, here we go, friends and neighbors. A little time out here to talk about this Free Speech TV pledge drive. It's our December pledge drive. Your last chance to help free speech and to take advantage of the tax deduction before the end of the year. Heading into the weekend, we encourage you to not to wait any longer, to take advantage of this opportunity to show your support for free speech right now. As I mentioned the other day, no more Mr. Nice Guy just telling you how much we love you and how much we know you love us, and therefore you're going to help us. No. I told you I was going to get a little tougher. In fact, it came out and said, come on, make your pledge, damn it. And guess what? It worked. We had the biggest day we had so far just because I used the damn it phrase. So let's try it again, all right? Let's be a little tougher. Stop farting around. Yeah, come on, get off your ass and make your pledge, damn it, and do it today. We need your help. Seriously, look, we wouldn't even be doing this pledge drive. We wouldn't even be asking for your help if it weren't important. You know about Free Speech TV. It is such a rare national treasure, and I'm so proud to be part of it. It is the only independent, the only progressive, the only totally freewheeling, the only non-corporate media out there on television that you can enjoy 24/7 with such great hosts and great information and great opportunity to get your voices out there. And if that's what you want and that's what you appreciate, then please show your appreciation by helping us as much as you can. Any pledge is valuable. Any pledge we appreciate. Any pledge keeps us going. We just ask you to be as generous as you can. And you do your share. We'll do our share by sending you some wonderful little gifts to accompany your pledge. If you can just help us with $30. A pledge for $30, we'll send you a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and pen set. For $60, that's $5 a month. Come on, a Free Speech TV calendar with a photograph for every month of one of your favorite Free Speech TV hosts, including yours truly. $120, $10 a month for Bill Press Show pint glasses. You can sip while you watch. For $240, a little package put together for the Women's Bean Project, a contribution to that great project, like a little can of soup and a bundle of cornbread, and 2 of those Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $360, a Carol Press scarf like this one that's just $30 a month. Some of you have already done this. I've heard from some of you, and so excited to get a Carol Press scarf for that $360 pledge. For $1,000, you get yourself to Washington early in 2016. Carol and I will take you out to dinner and come on in the next morning and meet our whole team here. Make your pledge today, again, as generously as you can to 877-378-8669 or go online to freespeech.org. Again, thank you for your help. Happy holidays.
I grew up in the housing projects of Cleveland. I didn't even know that life could be any better than it was. Education for me has been a way to get away from the agony of what was normal life. I want to be able to impact the community, not just look back on where I came from, but to reach back to where I came from and pull some people up with me. My name is David, and I am your dividend.
He's not running for president, but he will shake hands and kiss babies. It's the Bill Press Show, your progressive headquarters for the 2016 election.
We're in Europe.
24 minutes after the hour, we're live. We're back on the air with Tierney Sneed here from Talking Points Memo. Congressman Mark Pocan from Wisconsin joining us at the half. Tierney, on the political front, you got to admit, this Republican primary is one of the most interesting and fun that we've ever had to cover, right? With Donald Trump still leading the pack in the latest poll, but Ben Carson seems to be the one that's maybe run into a little buzzsaw here.
Yeah, and he was the other kind of outsider. What do we do about Ben Carson? Because he kind of just defies the typical model. But yeah, he was the kind of had a big surge, especially among evangelicals and whatnot. But now we're also seeing Ted Cruz come up, particularly in Iowa, and kind of, maybe taking a bite out of Carson's lead there.
And Ted Cruz has there are links to the evangelical community. Wasn't his father a preacher, I
and
believe?
that's definitely part of his strategy too. I mean, his end game, a lot of attention was paid to how he refused to kind of condemn Donald Trump, at least for a long time, when Donald Trump was doing some of his crazy stuff. Part of the end game was this idea that he can get a lot of these kind of hard right conservative voters and evangelical voters. He's spent a lot of time trying to work that community, because that is such a big deal in Iowa. And I think, a strong showing in Iowa is definitely a big part of his entire strategy.
Yeah, which is today it's like 60 days maybe, or 59 or 60 days until the caucuses. So this is the time if Cruz is going to make his move. It's sort of he's got to make his move. And again, the latest poll, as I remember the numbers from Quinnipiac nationwide among Republicans, Trump was at 27, Marco Rubio at 17, and then Cruz and Carson tied at 16. So Carson is still up there among the top, but he's not like close to Trump, which he was at one time. And then down at 5%, Jeb Bush. I mean, is it all over for Jeb Bush? And why hasn't he connected? You got to say, agree or disagree with his policies. I mean, he's former governor of Florida. He knows the issues. He's smart. He's a Bush.
Yeah, and I was born and raised in Florida, so I've been, I was kind of paying attention to Jeb for a long time. But I think a part of it is just, this race, as you mentioned, it's just so different than what we've seen before, and he's just the wrong candidate at the wrong time. I think everyone was kind of concerned of how he would kind of separate himself from his brother, but in an environment like this where, your top two candidates are not even politicians, the Bush dynasty sort of criticism really sticks. So I think that's part of the reason. And, he just had a lot of trouble on the campaign trail, call him gaffes, call you what and what. He just couldn't really excite people the way that some of these other candidates are. And this seems just an election where people are looking for that kind of emotional, visceral connection. They're not necessarily thinking logically or rationally or who knows the policy issues best or who has the record. It's all been about this kind of emotional reaction that Donald Trump has been able to get and Ben Carson has been able to get. And now we're seeing Cruz also trying to tap into with his sort of anti-establishment rhetoric. And that just doesn't seem like a sort of environment that Jeb was really suited for.
Just about 30 seconds. Will the Republican Party accept Donald Trump as their nominee?
I mean, it is interesting. There was a Washington Post reported yesterday of this kind of secret memo that was going around about, what to do about Donald Trump. And I think at least some people are kind of coming to terms with the fact that he might not there was this long-held idea that, he'll whimper out. This is just our
he'll drop
candidate
out,
of the day. But, it's been since, the summer of Trump has turned to fall and the fall is turning into winter. So, the question is whether we're going to see more aggressive attempts to take him down, because what this memo said was, distance yourself from, but also kind of tap into what he's getting. They've tried to have it both ways, basically.
Yeah. And get ready for it, because it could happen. All right. Hey, Tierney, we covered a lot of ground. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks
All
for
right.
having
Great
me.
to see you. Come back again. We'll be back with Congressman
This
Mark
is
Pocan.
the Bill Press Show.
Hey, here we go, friends and neighbors. A little time out here to talk about this Free Speech TV pledge drive. It's our December pledge drive. Your last chance to help free speech and to take advantage of the tax deduction before the end of the year. Heading into the weekend, we encourage you to not to wait any longer, to take advantage of this opportunity to show your support for free speech right now. As I mentioned the other day, no more Mr. Nice Guy just telling you how much we love you and how much we know you love us, and therefore you're going to help us. No. I told you I was going to get a little tougher. In fact, it came out and said, come on, make your pledge, damn it. And guess what? It worked. We had the biggest day we had so far just because I used the damn it phrase. So let's try it again, all right? Let's be a little tougher. Stop farting around. Yeah, come on, get off your ass and make your pledge, damn it, and do it today. We need your help. Seriously, look, we wouldn't even be doing this pledge drive. We wouldn't even be asking for your help if it weren't important. You know about Free Speech TV. It is such a rare national treasure, and I'm so proud to be part of it. It is the only independent, the only progressive, the only totally freewheeling, the only non-corporate media out there on television that you can enjoy 24/7 with such great hosts and great information and great opportunity to get your voices out there. And if that's what you want and that's what you appreciate, then please show your appreciation by helping us as much as you can. Any pledge is valuable. Any pledge we appreciate. Any pledge keeps us going. We just ask you to be as generous as you can. And you do your share. We'll do our share by sending you some wonderful little gifts to accompany your pledge. If you can just help us with $30, a pledge for $30, we'll send you a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and pen set. For $60, that's $5 a month. Come on, a Free Speech TV calendar with a photograph for every month of one of your favorite Free Speech TV hosts, including yours truly. $120, $10 a month for Bill Press Show pint glasses. You can sip while you watch. For $240, a little package put together for the Women's Bean Project, a contribution to that great project, like a little can of soup and a bundle of cornbread, and 2 of those Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $360, a Carol Press scarf like this one that's just $30 a month. Some of you have already done this. I've heard from some of you, and so excited to get a Carol Press scarf for that $360 pledge. For $1,000, you get yourself to Washington early in 2016. Carol and I will take you out to dinner and come on in the next morning and meet our whole team here. Make your pledge today, again, as generously as you can to 877-378-8669, or go online to freespeech.org. Again, thank you for your help. Happy holidays.
I grew up in the housing projects of Cleveland. I didn't even know that life could be any better than it was. Education for me has been a way to get away from the agony of what was normal life. I want to be able to impact the community, not just look back on where I came from, but to reach back to where I came from and pull some people up with me. My name is David, and I am your dividend.
Seen on Free Speech TV and online on TawkrTV. This is the Bill Press Show.
Here we go now, 33 minutes after the hour, Thursday, December 3rd, the Bill Press Show. Coming to you live from Washington, D.C. and our studio on Capitol Hill, just down the street from the United States Capitol building. It's a good place to be because, you know, we can sometimes snare members of Congress on their way to work. We just have send somebody downstairs here on Pennsylvania Avenue and grab them and kidnap them into the studio like we just did with Congressman Mark Pocan from Wisconsin, Madison, Wisconsin. Good friend of the program, member of the leader of the Progressive Caucus in the Congress. Congressman, it's good to see you.
Thanks, Bill. Great to be here.
Thank you for coming in. I have to tell you, and first of all, you're looking very, very good this morning in that Carol Press scarf.
I know this in the red with the accent of the blue. It looks patriotic and warm all at the same time. I mean, how more Washington could you be?
There you go. And I'm in a little gray and black here, and it's the season. It's a chilly day. You need a scarf, and if you're looking for the best in the country, go to our website, BillPressShow.com. On the upper right-hand corner, just click and follow the link to Carol Press Scarves. She's the weaver, she's the artist, she's the talent in the family. Lots of beautiful colors and designs for this season you'll find there, and do your holiday shopping for yourself or for someone you love. So, Congressman, last time I saw you was Tuesday night here, the Progressive Change Campaign Committee, a little reception. And I was stopped in there and was so delighted to see you, Jen Schakowsky, Barbara Lee. I'm just thinking Debbie Dingle,
Keith
Al
Ellison,
Franken, Keith Ellison, Raul Grijalva,
Elizabeth
John
Warren.
Conyers, Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah.
That is a good, solid, and
Ruben Gallego.
Ruben Gallego, I didn't see him yet, but there's a good, solid group of progressives in this Congress, you know?
You know, I am one of the most valuable things I've done since I've been in Congress is got involved with the Progressive Caucus. Donna Edwards. We have 72 members. The largest values-based caucus within the Democratic Party. And this year, and didn't get a lot of coverage, but, you know, we put out our progressive budget every year. And we always put, you know, ideas that later wind up coming into the mainstream for the Democratic Party, but we have to start them, you know, somewhere. And we got a majority of our caucus to vote for that budget, which is the most votes we've ever got, like 96 votes or something. So, you know, really there is a lot of momentum on the progressive side. And, you know, obviously the electorate, you can see that through the campaign messages that are resonating. Candidates that are talking, but
I mean, look at Bernie and in response, Bernie's getting around the country,
and Hillary Clinton's taken very progressive positions as well, and this is great. In fact, that's one of the things we've made a priority. We've reached out to the main three, you know, Democratic campaigns, and we have tried to talk to them about progressive policy, raising the minimum wage, debt-free college, other proposals that we've kind of put out there, and it's just I'm very glad to see so many of our members, or strong members in our caucus, are also strong progressives.
I have to ask you about the breaking news of the day, the big news of the day. And I want to start with, so last night, this is the season. Last night was the lighting of the Capitol Christmas tree. Speaker Paul Ryan out there addressing the crowd, and he began this way.
Please keep the victims and their families in your prayers right now.
Speaking about San Bernardino and the 14 people killed there yesterday and 17 wounded. But Congressman, don't we need more than, we need the prayers, okay, fine, but don't we need more than prayers, more than a moment of silence?
You know, absolutely. In fact, you know, this is something where I almost wish the people of faith would stand up and kind of say, look, we're going to continue doing prayers, but we have to do more than prayers, because how many times am I going to be on the floor of Congress and we have to do another moment of silence for another mass shooting that happens in this country? And when we don't act, I feel at some point we become complicit with the actions that happen. And, you know, to just simply focus on that one aspect, or specifically in Colorado, when we talk about the Planned Parenthood shooting, to ignore the terrorist aspect of what happened is it's unconscionable, and we have to do more.
But you know, so the response we heard yesterday, and I just want to point out our good friend Igor Volsky from Think Progress, who's a frequent guest here and is going to be actually guest hosting tomorrow. What he did yesterday is he followed the tweets coming from Republican members of Congress, and then followed up with their contributions from the NRA.
Yeah.
Let me just read the top one. This is from that Igor put out. So Senator Mitch McConnell Senate Majority Leader, quote, "The senseless loss of innocent life in San Bernardino defies explanation. Our thoughts are with the victims and their families." Igor tweeted out, "NRA dumped $922,000 in McConnell's reelect bid. So when it comes to preventing gun violence, all you get is this tweet."
Yeah.
I mean, there's certain, you hear it. We have to take care of the mental health better. Do we have to do a better job of mental health? We send our thoughts and our prayers. We need a moment of silence. We have to salute the work of the law enforcement officers. All of that is fine, but it's poppycock if you're not doing anything.
It's all around the edges and not dealing with the issue directly. And, Wisconsin's a state where we have a strong family hunting tradition, and no one is going after anyone's hunting rifle. That tradition will last for hopefully centuries, to go on.
Yeah.
However, no one that I know in Wisconsin with that hunting tradition goes out there with automatic or semi-automatic weapons to go hunting.
Not even Paul Ryan, who came back with his hunting beard, right? Yeah.
No comment. I think that's what that is. That's part of his tradition. Ron Kine from Wisconsin went bow hunting. It's so many people do that. No one is talking about that. No one is talking about matters of self-protection. What we're talking about are the weapons, the loopholes, the ways that guns get to people that shouldn't be having guns. And then we're dealing with all the fringe issues rather than dealing with it directly, because the NRA is not gun owners. It's gun manufacturers' money with some people joining in. They're all kowtowing to the gun manufacturers over and over. And again, I can't tell you, we get on the floor, we do another moment of silence, and we all look at each other going, is this another? And yesterday we had a conversation walking out. We're like, well, the other shooting that was, in whatever state, and they're like, no, the last one was in this state. No, I think it was this one. When you can't even figure out when the last shooting was and what happened, you've got a real problem.
I saw on CNN last night, I've been talking this morning, so this was yesterday, San Bernardino was number 351 this year.
Wow.
Of 334 days this year.
Yeah.
So more than one a day, which means, to your point, we don't even know about all of them. We don't even hear about all of them.
Yeah.
And mass shooting 4 or more.
Yeah. No, and that was the conversation we had. We couldn't even put together, and it was just such a sad statement of where we are on this issue and where we need to be on this issue. And again, hopefully, people of faith, as we're doing these prayers, will rise to action on this as well, because this needs to get elevated to that level.
Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky, your colleague, was with us a little earlier this morning, and she mentioned that after it might have been again one of them, who knows, that they gathered for a moment of silence that Boehner was still speaker, and they had their moment of silence. And at the end of it, while everybody is still silent, she just shouted out, "Now let's do something."
Yes, she did. Yes, I was there and I remember that. And unfortunately, they were busy praying because they didn't hear it. And we need to get that message out that we need to do more.
Now, the last one, Congressman, that we have talked about at any rate wasn't that long ago. Last Friday, Colorado Springs.
Right.
And Colorado Springs, the Robert Deere, the killer there, when he was taken into custody by law enforcement authorities, echoed word for word what Republicans have been saying about Planned Parenthood. No selling baby body parts. Right. Any doubt in your mind that the rhetoric we've heard from the far right has triggered people like him?
Yeah, especially the presidential campaign. I mean, they're all trying to out-rhetoric each other, but that kind of hate talk, that violent talk, does have an effect. And at some point, it's not just the effect of bringing in a few conservative voters who believe that's the issue that's most important to them. It's the taking someone like that who then decides that's a call to action to somehow do something to deal with Planned Parenthood. In the reality, we all know those videos were doctored. That whole issue is a bogus issue. But the bottom line is that kind of conversation that happens over and over and over throughout this presidential campaign, especially, and by members of Congress, certainly is going to lead to someone like this deciding that it was a call to action.
Every one of these, we say, okay, is this the one that's going to break the pattern? Is this the one that's going to break the NRA or give people backbone to stand up to the NRA? We thought that after Sandy Hook. How many more will it take?
And just a bit of an aside, but the fact that we can't even say people who are on the terrorist watch list can't buy guns because somehow that would affect.
No, that's right on point. It shows how crazy our laws are.
And on the floor, and I might get this number a little wrong, but Diane Daggett and I were talking about this two days ago on the floor. She also looked it up, and no, I'm sorry, Kathleen Clark from Massachusetts. She looked it up, and 185,000, I think it was, background checks occurred on Black Friday to a second in this country for people purchasing guns.
Black Friday?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Whoa.
She saw the status around the floor. Yeah, it was astounding to see that. So, there is obviously legitimate interest that's out there, especially, like I said, in hunting and self-protection. But there's a whole lot of things that we have to get our hands on if we're going to protect those legitimate interests.
And some very specific and common sense things we can do. People are talking about universal background checks and banning assault weapons. I mean, we're not talking about, again, as you say, taking guns away from sportsmen. Yeah,
very, very easy. And, I think also we should add to the conversation things like the fact that now on my iPhone, I can, with my thumb, get into my credit card balance. We have a lot of technology now that can do things like that and provide extra protections so that someone's weapon is their weapon and their weapon alone, and not getting into other hands. There's a lot of other things I think should be part of a bigger, broader conversation.
If enough Americans say enough is enough, maybe this is the time that we can see some and demand some and get some action. Congressman Mark Pocan here from the 2nd District of Wisconsin, the great city of Madison, Wisconsin, and all of our good friends out at 92.1 The Mic. We've got a lot more to cover here with a good congressman. You want to join us at 866-55-PRESS. We'll be right back. Hey, here we go, friends and neighbors. A little time out here to talk about this Free Speech TV pledge drive. It's our December pledge drive. Your last chance to help free speech and to take advantage of the tax deduction before the end of the year. Heading into the weekend, we encourage you to not to wait any longer, to take advantage of this opportunity to show your support for free speech right now. As I mentioned the other day, no more Mr. Nice Guy just telling you how much we love you and how much we know you love us, and therefore you're going to help us. No. I told you I was going to get a little tougher. In fact, they came out and said, come on, make your pledge, damn it. And guess what? It worked. We had the biggest day we had so far just because I used the damn it phrase. So let's try it again, all right? Let's be a little tougher. Stop farting around. Yeah, come on, get off your ass and make your pledge, damn it, and do it today. We need your help. Seriously, look, we wouldn't even be doing this pledge drive. We wouldn't even be asking for your help if it weren't important. You know about Free Speech TV. It is such a rare national treasure, and I'm so proud to be part of it. It is the only independent, the only progressive, the only totally freewheeling, the only non-corporate media out there on television that you can enjoy 24/7 with such great hosts and great information and great opportunity to get your voices out there. And if that's what you want and that's what you appreciate, then please show your appreciation by helping us as much as you can. Any pledge is valuable. Any pledge we appreciate. Any pledge keeps us going. We just ask you to be as generous as you can. And you do your share. We'll do our share by sending you some wonderful little gifts to accompany your pledge. If you can just help us with $30. A pledge for $30, we'll send you a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and pen set. For $60, that's $5 a month. Come on, a Free Speech TV calendar with a photograph for every month of one of your favorite Free Speech TV hosts, including yours truly. $120, $10 a month for Bill Press Show pint glasses. You can sip while you watch. For $240, a little package put together for the Women's Bean Project, a contribution to that great project, like a little can of soup and a bundle of cornbread, and 2 of those Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $360, a cow press scarf like this one that's just $30 a month. Some of you have already done this. I've heard from some of you, and so excited to get a Carol Press scarf for that $360 pledge. For $1,000, you get yourself to Washington early in 2016. Carol and I will take you out to dinner and go on in the next morning and meet our whole team here. Make your pledge today, again, as generously as you can to 877-378-8669, or go online to freespeech.org. Again, thank you for your help. Happy holidays.
Streaming live video right now at youtube.com/TawkrTV. That's TAWKR-TV. This is The Bill Press Show.
12 minutes before the top of the hour now, visiting with Congressman Mark Pocan from Wisconsin's 2nd Congressional District and Madison, Wisconsin. How are things in Madison? I got to get back out there again. I keep saying that.
Wisconsin's a wonderful place,
Maybe I'll wait till
despite
spring.
what Scott Walker's done to us.
Yeah.
But we're going to take care of that in a few years, and we'll make sure we...
Well, we're there every
get
day
back.
on 92.1 The Mic. I'm very grateful to be so, but I want to get out there in person soon. So we'll have a party.
You should,
When I come out,
although
we'll have a party,
I would
right?
say January, February, maybe go south, and then any other
okay.
time of the year, come on up.
All right, okay.
I
You got
want
a
to
date.
know
March or April, you got a date.
I want to know if the Packers are going to win the division.
Oh,
We've had a rough
rough few weeks, but the Packers, only community-owned team in the country. It's kind of America's team. We're hoping, but it's been a rough few weeks, and last week was rough for our Badgers and the Packers. So we're hoping for better.
Well, while we talking about Wisconsin favorites, okay, you gave us Scott Walker, so we'll forgive you that if you send Russ Feingold back.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, we're doing everything we can. Russ was a terrific U.S. Senator.
Oh, yeah.
I think one of the signature things he did, we have 72 counties in Wisconsin. Every year, he got to every single county with a listening session. No one does that kind of access. And in his first 100 days after he announced, he got to every single county, reminding everyone that that's what he does.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
I think he will have a very good chance against Ron Johnson. The thing is that people got to remember, his polling right now is very, very good to beat Ron Johnson, but Wisconsin is a purple state, and we were a little more blue-purple in the presidential year, a little more red-purple in the other year, but we have to do everything we can because it will definitely tighten up, and it has to be all hands on deck to make sure Russ Feingold's coming back to the U.S. Senate.
All right. Back to Congress here for a session. Not much time left on the budget front. No shutdown, and everything going to go smoothly, or what can we expect?
Well, I mean, here's the problem. So, we all the Democrats and 79 Republicans voted to not shut the government down, to have a budget bill. But now through the appropriations process, we're not doing appropriation bills. We're going to do another giant omnibus, which means a lot of ugly stuff will be thrown in. Worse yet, they're talking about riders. So the Republicans love to say we got rid of earmarks, but now they have 300 riders potentially on the bill. I mean, a rider is really very similar to an earmark, especially at the level of specificity of some of these riders they're having out there. And there's going to be a lot of ugly stuff in there. I mean, they've been trying to do things on funding of Planned Parenthood. They're trying to do things to stop Syrian refugees. All this unrelated stuff to what we're doing, they're going to throw into a bill. And it's going to be very, very hard to accept that bill. And they better remember, their Tea Party won't vote for anything if spending's involved. And if they don't have our support and they're not willing to negotiate in good faith, which they are not, they've given us this as like an ultimatum, it's going to be tough to get that done properly by the deadline in December.
Are these riders, do they go through the standard congressional process of a public congressional hearing where people can testify for and against?
If we did a normal appropriations process where you do the appropriation bills, you can have anything. Any amendment can come up, and you would do that. That would be the new day I expect in Congress. Instead, we have the Groundhog's Day in Congress where the same old is happening again. In fact, it's even worse because now we're basically redoing those bad earmarks and those hidden things that'll just be part of a giant omnibus bill that's an up or down vote. And you either accept this bad stuff or not. And, I think that's going to cause, but the president's already said he's not going to be supportive of a lot of these. They're going to have to negotiate a little better than they are right now.
What difference have you observed with a new speaker in the House of Representatives?
A beard.
That's right. John Boehner never grew a beard.
Right. Well,
Okay.
Paul Ryan and I share a county, and I personally like Paul. Paul's a very nice person. We have very different views politically. He's a neocon and believes largely in austerity as a measure and giant tax breaks for big corporations and wealthy special interests. So we've got those divides. But process-wise, I think the Tea Party is still going to be the Tea Party. That 40 or 50 hardcore people are ultimately going to make his life a living hell, like they did to John Boehner, I think. And Paul Ryan is going to have his hands full. This will be a little test the next couple of weeks with this appropriations bill. But again, John Boehner got off the table. The highway bill got out of committee. The shutdown didn't happen, and the Ex-Im Bank got taken care of. He got a lot of heavy lifting done before he left. So we're yet to see, I guess, the really day-to-day action. But right now, giving us ultimatums with riders isn't a new day. It's just Groundhog's Day.
Yeah, right. No, John Boehner did Paul Ryan a great service by getting that stuff taken care of before
Absolutely.
Paul Ryan moved in. Congressman, it's always good to see you. Thank you so much for stopping by this morning.
Of course, Bill.
Right.
Thank you.
Happy holidays if I don't see you again before. And so we have a date in Madison, right? March or April?
Yeah, anytime you want to. We'll get you to the farmers market on the square in Madison on a Saturday, and it will be an amazing experience for you.
All right. I'm ready. All right. Thanks so much, Congressman. I'll be back with today's parting shot. Hey, here we go, friends and neighbors. A little time out here to talk about this Free Speech TV pledge drive. It's our December pledge drive. Your last chance to help free speech and to take advantage of the tax deduction before the end of the year. Heading into the weekend, we encourage you to not to wait any longer, to take advantage of this opportunity to show your support for free speech right now. As I mentioned the other day, no more Mr. Nice Guy just telling you how much we love you and how much we know you love us, and therefore you're going to help us. No. I told you I was going to get a little tougher. In fact, they came out and said, come on, make your pledge, damn it. And guess what? It worked. We had the biggest day we had so far just because I used the damn it phrase. So let's try it again, all right? Let's be a little tougher. Stop farting around. Yeah, come on, get off your ass and make your pledge, damn it. And do it today. We need your help. Seriously, look, we wouldn't even be doing this pledge drive. We wouldn't even be asking for your help if it weren't important. You know about Free Speech TV. It is such a rare national treasure, and I'm so proud to be part of it. It is the only independent, the only progressive, the only totally freewheeling, the only non-corporate media out there on television that you can enjoy 24/7 with such great hosts and great information and great opportunity to get your voices out there. And if that's what you want and that's what you appreciate, then please show your appreciation by helping us as much as you can. Any pledge is valuable. Any pledge we appreciate. Any pledge keeps us going. We just ask you to be as generous as you can. And you do your share. We'll do our share by sending you some wonderful little gifts to accompany your pledge. If you can just help us with $30. A pledge for $30, we'll send you a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and pen set. For $60, that's $5 a month. Come on, a Free Speech TV calendar with a photograph for every month of one of your favorite Free Speech TV hosts, including yours truly. $120, $10 a month for Bill Press Show pint glasses. You can sip while you watch. For $240, a little package put together for the Women's Bean Project, a contribution to that great project. A little can of soup and a bundle of cornbread, and 2 of those Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $360, a Cow Press scarf like this one that's just $30 a month. Some of you have already done this. I've heard from some of you, and so excited to get a Carol Press scarf for that $360 pledge. For $1,000, you get yourself to Washington early in 2016. Carol and I will take you out to dinner and go on in the next morning and meet our whole team here. Make your pledge today, again, as generously as you can to 877-378-8669, or go online to freespeech.org. Again, thank you for your help. Happy holidays.
The Parting Shot with Bill Press. This is The Bill Press Show.
Yep, here we go again. As we've been talking this morning, is there nowhere safe in America? Among other places, a first-grade classroom, a college campus, a Navy office building, a movie theater, a shopping center, a church, a women's health clinic, and now a center for the developmentally disabled. All sites of mass shootings in this country. The latest, of course, San Bernardino, California. 14 people gunned down, 17 wounded yesterday in the 7th mass shooting in the United States in the last 5 months. As President Obama mentioned yesterday, no other civilized nation on earth suffers from that same kind of repeated violence. Why? Because no other civilized nation on earth offers the same easy access to guns. So once again, we have to ask, what will it take? How many innocent people have to be killed? How many families destroyed? How many communities shattered before politicians have the guts to stand up to the NRA and adopt some tough but common sense gun safety measures? Let's hope that now is the time. Enough is enough. Hey, folks, thanks for being with us today. Igor Volsky here as a guest host tomorrow. Have a great Thursday. And come back tomorrow.
This is The Bill Press Show.